What's up, you filthy casuals? Welcome to the Casual Shenanigans Gaming Podcast, a podcast all about the irreverent love of gaming. I'm one of your hosts, Jeremiah, and tonight I am joined by Dave.
Hey, guys.
James.
What's up?
And Joel.
Hey.
Who has a light in his room? Yay.
Oh, I just realized.
Now, Joel, you are joining us tonight. You're not going to be joining us too much for the next month or so. Why is that?
Yeah, starting December, I'll be working just 100% on Norman. So I just wanted to be able to focus on that because we're getting really close to finishing it, and my brother needs a lot of help, and visual effects for Norman start again up on the 14th. So
that's pretty much it for production, right?
Yeah, the visual effects and the sound are the hardest parts. Music is done; it just needs to be put in, and there's a few more tracks that are just being re-recorded, but it's all like laid out and finished.
Mm. And then the whole thing needs to be colored.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah. Which I'm actually getting ready to send the hard drive to the colorist guy as well. So he's going to have some free time as well. So it looks like we're going to be really close to, like, it's going to be watchable by the end of the year. And then I think it's going to be done by end of January, I think. Like,
awesome.
done. So, but I just want to be able to have that time to kind of work on it. But I'll be back for the end of the year podcast.
This isn't like, he's not going to guaranteedly be gone every single week for the next couple months. There's just very likely he won't be here. If for some reason Joel is around and can be on the show, awesome. If he can't be, that's okay. He's working on finishing Norman. That's totally fine. There's always the chance I might have to miss a show or something when it comes to the move. I hope not. I'm trying to work it out so that doesn't happen. But
I do want to say,
when is your move again?
Mid-January.
Okay.
I was going to say, if you guys do happen to see me playing Fallout or something like that during podcasts, don't just assume I'm not working on stuff only. Like, yeah, I'm playing Fallout only.
What should we assume, though?
Well, I probably won't be playing. Well, actually, I'll just make sure to be offline when I'm playing.
Right.
No, but
so how exactly will you be at your brother's place working on sound and playing Fallout?
Yeah. Well, I might not be working every single day, but I'm just giving myself the whole month of December to helping
Fallout.
Yeah, to
Norman.
No.
Not to Casual Shenanigans.
Hell no.
Oh, good.
CSG is going down in priorities.
Sorry, Wes. I almost said wasteland. Could protect the Commonwealth for us, Joel.
It's still a wasteland. Let's be honest. It's Boston.
Yeah,
I'm going to see Joy's PSN ID is going to be online suspiciously long hours.
Yeah, Joy's played a lot of Fallout and Bloodborne and Last of Us.
Well, Joel, whenever you are able to be here, we'd love to have you, and we might record like a special segment or something, you know.
Yeah, I might
taste of Joel, we'll call it.
I might send you guys some recordings to play online.
You can even send us your 90 seconds if you want.
Yeah. And then I'll just speed it up till it fits within actually 90 seconds, and we'll play it.
Yeah, because I realized next week, I guess are we skipping next week? Because
next week is Thanksgiving. We had not talked about that, but on the air, I guess is a good time to do it. There will not be a podcast next week for Thanksgiving reasons.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
We could do a casual conversation, Jeremiah.
What?
We could do a casual conversation.
We should do a casual conversation. I'll hit you up.
We'll get some.
I'll hit you up.
We can talk about how the early settlers built all these amazing mountains for us back in the day when they came over on the Columbia.
Well, I may be visiting Jeremiah in his place of residence next week.
Homeschooled history, America's the best.
We always joke every time we go hiking or go camp somewhere. We always joke around like all the like awesome like parks and places we go to. We're always like, it's so awesome. The early settlers, they built these trails for us so we could see these amazing mountains. It's like, took them all their lives to do it, but they were so awesome.
A bunch of us went on an awesome like caving expedition up in the Shenandoah Valley earlier this year, and we're like down in this cave, like the guy's showing us all these cool rock formations, and Joel's looking at this giant cavern and he's just like, out of nowhere, man, I really can't believe the settlers got all this finished. Like, just came out of nowhere.
What did the guide say?
I don't think he heard.
He didn't reply to me. I was like, man, like, this is so awesome. The early settlers did this for us. People were like, what?
That's the thing with you, Joel. It's like you still, after however many years, it's almost be 4 years we've been friends, I'm still not sure if you're joking a lot of the time. I'm like, I'm pretty, like, he has to be. And that's the thing with Joel. You can sure, like, there's absolutely no way he's not joking. But
keeps you on your toes.
I don't
know where they found the time to do that when they were, like, carving out the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I know. exactly. They were busy bees.
Everyone knows Noah's Ark did that. It went through the canyon and bashed up all the rocks. It's like,
With
you guys
the
didn't
help
even go-
of the early settlers.
Exactly.
Heave 1, 2.
No, we used the Indians for that. They were so grateful for a job and for America coming to save them, obviously. They were happy to row Noah's Ark through the
Thank
Grand
you for
Canyon.
bringing us capitalism. Bartering worked so poorly before.
Well, they were so awesome. They brought candy corn. They would trade that with us. That was awesome.
So anyway, we're celebrating candy corn next week, and there won't be a show.
Early candy corn.
I feel like you could do an entire Boundless MP episode based on your
On
misconceptions of
The
Thanksgiving.
things you're thankful for about Thanksgiving.
I'm thankful that Jesus prepared the way for the settlers to take America.
Maybe I'll record a separate just Joel's holiday cast just by myself. I'll just
Please
tell a
do.
Christmas story.
Oh, you'll tell the Christmas. Oh boy, this will be good.
just crackling fire in the background, and a little bit of crappy
Well,
royalty
the way
free
the Jedi work are, there has to be two.
Yeah.
Not saying that's where baby Jesus came from. Just saying
He
that
did have
story
the highest
involves-
midichlorian count,
midichlorians.
though.
yeah, it brings a lot of balance to things if you know.
Oh, man.
All right, so yeah, Joel won't be here, and maybe you'll see Debbie on the podcast a little bit more. Taking
Or
up
you'll
Joel's
hear Debbie with a little icon with a cat.
That's true, with the screaming cat
She's
icon.
a
Okay,
cat.
on to other stuff, because that's wasting enough time talking about Joel. We're now going to talk about Joel's project, the Fallout 4 fan fiction contest that Joel came up with, and we've been running for the past 2 months. We got some excellent entries, and we've already picked the winner, but tonight we are going to play them for you. Now, we were just going to read them on the show, but then we had the idea to actually record them as a little bit of a low-budget radio drama. So I am the narrator, and Joel and James are playing themselves, and we have some rudimentary sound effects. So, hosts, first we're going to listen to Chris's entry. Host, do you have Chris's entry pulled up?
One
Yes.
second. Hold on. Wait.
All right.
So I guess we'll announce the winners. Or I guess we'll play the winners.
The winner will be last,
Yeah.
and that's how they'll know. They already know, but that's how everyone else will know.
All right. I'm
All right,
ready.
All right,
Yep.
this is Chris's submission. 3, 2, 1. A thin film of dust covered everything in the old abandoned gas station. 2 figures stood between the rusting shelves, safely out of the heat of the blazing sun. James' gaze did not waver as he stared into Joel's eyes.
What did you say, Joel? I don't think I heard you.
Joel's rising anger was clear in his reply.
You heard me. You can't carry all that loot.
James' voice remained calm.
Why can't I carry all this loot? This bionic body can easily handle another 50 pounds.
But the cons will spot us crossing the Mojave.
Just one more Nuka-Cola bottle. I can see it on the top shelf.
Come on, there's no way you're going to reach that.
Man, I wish Germ was here. He could do it.
Yeah, I still can't believe those villagers killed him.
It was an honest mistake. Everyone thought he was a mutant due to his large size.
James let out a long sigh.
All right. But you have to explain to the chief why this hall is lighter than usual.
No problem. I've always had a lay with words.
Replied Joel. The two trudged across the wasteland with their sweet loot in tow. It was an uneventful journey back to camp. They arrived just after dusk in the secluded desert valley. The 7 tents were placed in a circle around a large bonfire. The largest tent sat in the center with a raised wooden chair before it. The other groups had already returned. 4 separate piles of goods had been placed before the wooden chair. James walked forward and placed the goods he'd been carrying in its own pile next to the others. With the final offering in place, the gathering horn sounded. Everyone in the camp huddled around the bonfire. After an appropriately dramatic delay, a figure clad in camouflage emerged from the tent. He climbed into the wooden chair. His beard swayed in the gentle breeze. Then his voice boomed across the camp. "I will now examine the loot. Bring me the first offering." The first group rushed forward, dragging their pile before the chair. "Oh, what's this?" said the chief. "A T-74 power helmet with integrated breather. We can easily finish our Class 2 suite off." Joel started giggling uncontrollably. Who interrupted my power suit build? It was you, wasn't it, Joel? Is James texting you on your Pip-Boy? Between gasps of air, Joel finally wheezed out a response.
No.
The chief barked out his orders. Guards, seize him! Bring me his Pip-Boy! A quick examination of Pip-Boy justified the chief's suspicions. Just as I thought. No rations for them. Tie them to the stakes for tonight. Think about your behavior. As the guards tied them to the stakes, Joel said.
At least he didn't have us last this time. Never look a horse gift in the mouth.
James replied.
Are you f***ing retarded?
All right. That one was pretty good. Good job, Chris. I'm sorry to say you were not the winner, but we greatly enjoyed that. Next is going to be Team Bondar. That's right, Weird Stranger. You thought this was a joke entry, and we weren't going to record it. Well, you're wrong. All right, everyone ready?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, hold on. Wait. All right. Bondar.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Why can't I carry all this loot?
What are you f***ing retarded? You found those damn Gwent cards in the monkey trap, but you're too stupid to let go and get your hand out. I will now be in charge of carrying all loot. Use your other hand to drink your quantum and shut the f*** up.
Thanks, Weird Stranger. That was great.
It's like a Joel and James vignette. That was awesome.
All right.
It's like a little,
I mean, they
little
pretty much
vertical
captured
slice.
our relationship.
Yeah,
That's
it's
pretty
like a
good.
little vertical slice.
All right, it's now Dave's entry. Dave did enter in. He didn't win Fallout 4, but he was second place in the Fallout 4 contest. Chris, don't worry, you weren't behind a Weird Strangers. You were definitely ahead of theirs. But Dave was second place, and everyone ready to play his?
Yep.
All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. The sun beat down on the harsh, cracked surface of the dam. Across the dry riverbed, something that would have once been a crow cawed menacingly. Through the haze, 2 lone figures picked their way down the rubble and rocks that sloped down to the debris-strewn road at the top of the dam. Muffled curses rang out as they dropped down to the road's surface and began to survey the control tower that peered over... Shit, bitch. Muffled curses rang out as they dropped down to the road's surface and began to survey the control tower that peered over the edge of the dam itself. A louder crash quickly followed as the most bearded, and gloriously so, of the 2 rugged survivors pulled a second rope hanging down beside them. A shadow fell and a bulging canvas bag crashed to the road next to them. An assortment of loose ammunition, electronic parts, and bits of scrap metal spilled across the road before being quickly scooped up once again.
I've always wanted to explore one of these.
Gasped James in awe as he stared into the crushed doorway of the control tower that led down into the darkness of the dam's interior. Joel paused to readjust the massive .44 Magnum hanging down from one of the 6 holsters looped over himself.
I'm just hoping for some fresh meat, if you know what I mean.
He asked before giggling to himself.
Yes.
James replied.
As always, Joel, you have the subtlety of an atomic bomb. Ooh, too soon?
What's the point of subtlety when you're dragging that thing around?
Joel asked, pointing to the ever-expanding bag of loot. James discovered yet another stray knick-knack and quickly returned the broken can opener to the bag. A perfectly fine cooking pot with only a few holes promptly rolled back out.
Ugh, over-encumbered again,
groaned James.
Why can't I hold all this loot?
Seriously, James, when are we ever going to need all that?
James scoffed at him.
When you're eaten because you skipped over the loot that could have saved your life, don't expect me to mourn your loss. Do expect me to clear your pockets, though.
You can go through my pockets anytime.
Joel snickered. James rolled his eyes and carefully peered into the open doorway.
Dude, this is awesome!
Exclaimed Joel as he charged into the darkness. A thin line strung across the threshold snapped, and James had just enough time to shout,
Joel, are you retarded?
Before the flashbang grenade exploded, turning the world into an array of painful stars. As the stars faded, Joel looked up to see a thin, grizzled, and almost skeletal wastelander stand up slowly from behind a broken desk. Always the diplomatic one, Joel put on a grim smile and greeted the figure with his friendliest voice.
Well, hey there, friend. I'm Joel. Can I interest you in my services?
A look of horror and terror flashed across the man's face before he pulled the trigger of the rifle he gripped tightly in his hand. By the cascade of light, sound, and flying brass that seemed to go on forever, James could tell it was definitely high-tier loot as he dove for cover. As the last shot echoed down the riverbed, James patted himself down for injuries, starting, of course, with his beard. Finding it, and himself as a whole, safe, he breathed a sigh of relief before his eyes locked onto the loot bag. Dust drifted from the dozens of holes, now allowing his worldly treasures to fall broken onto the pavement. James saw stars once again before the whole world turned red. Joel and James stared at the massive blood streak that graced the surface of the dam, stretching from just below the road down to the riverbed below. Joel whistled again.
I've seen a lot of things in my time here in the wasteland, but I think that one is going to stick with me for a while.
Joel remarked. James, covered from head to toe in blood and gunpowder, grimaced.
Hey, it's not stealing if they're dead.
He observed as he poured another handful of bottle caps into his new bag.
True.
Joel agreed.
Want not, waste not in the wasteland after all.
He said as he took another bite of human on stick and reloaded his 44. James briefly considered correcting him before shrugging and peering out across the valley to find their next adventure. Great job, Dave.
Those voices and sound effects. Oh, man.
All right, and you ready for the winner?
Yeah.
Joe D's submission, the winner of the Fallout 4 fanfiction contest and winner of a copy of Fallout 4. In 3, 2, 1. Boston, Massachusetts. The year 2077.
Really windy
A distant llama-sounding call echoes through the broken radioactive city. Two adventurers snap their heads to the direction of the call.
What the hell is that?
Asked James inquisitively.
I think it's a Jeremian.
Joel said, looking deeply into the wasteland they had just traveled through.
A form of giant mutant, indigenous to these lands.
Better get going then. We can't fight them off with these tin can pea shooters.
James conceded. And so they did, journeying deeper into the wreck of a city. Dusk fell shortly afterwards, so the two settled down into an abandoned GameStop. James turned to Joel.
Hey, any news on Half-Life 3?
He asked, knowing full well what the response would be.
No, the last I heard was a leak of some concept art with the title .jpg. The fans believe that might mean the announcement is soon.
Joel replied, disheartened.
That's a shame.
Said James. With that, not another word was spoken until morning. Both had slept on and off that night, fearing the sounds of the Jeremian. James had set off early to scavenge for food and weapons parts.
Joel!
He shouted at the top of his lungs. Joel grabbed his gear and a La Croix cans and came running to where he heard James. He turned a corner and saw a 12-foot-tall mutant carrying a rebar club.
The Jeremian! The Jeremian!
The Joel gasped as he watched it lunge and swing for James.
Back, you foul beast!
He said as he emptied his nail gun's projectiles into its chest. The Jeremian yelled as Joel got a critical hit to its head with his makeshift weapon. The Jeremian collapsed and loot exploded from the massive corpse. Ammo, food, armor, keys, crafting schematics, and rataways all poured out of the giant as its health hit 0.
Yes! Get wrecked!
Joel exclaimed excitedly.
I'm thankful for helping you out, Joel. Let's grab this stuff before the NPC, Dave, gets any ideas.
James replied. So they picked up as much as they could until they couldn't fit anymore for some odd reason.
Why can't I carry all this loot?
Joel asked in frustration.
What are you, retarded? You're over-encumbered. Add more points to your strength skill.
Yeah, I guess. Or we could try something else. Go grab some corpses. I have an idea of how we could haul all this stuff.
That was excellent. Thank you very much, Jody.
Man.
That was great.
I'm picturing you as like a sand.
Thanks. It's not wildly offensive in any way. It only hurts when I'm awake. All right. It's now time for our main topic. Our main topic is, of course, Fallout 4. I will say I really like that main menu music.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I really is that the same? Is that like the classic Fallout music?
It's a little reworked.
But I mean, it's a familiar
but yeah,
Fallout
yeah.
thing. Cool.
It's got the
It's
same
a very
hook.
nice piece of music. All right, so we are going to talk about Fallout. We have a lot of points we need to cover, or a lot of ground to cover. So we're going to attempt to keep it moving along. So this isn't like this could easily be a 3-hour podcast. I'm fairly confident. These guys earlier today were talking all types of crap. Like, yeah, we'll just say a few things, maybe move on. But the love in their eyes, I don't want to restrict them here. So we're going to hop straight into it. And we're going to start with Fallout 4's launch. So the game did launch a little early for some people who had
time machines built into their computers.
Oh man,
some people with computers.
Some very lucky people out there.
Some lucky people. We don't know how they did it. We heard rumors that you could just use a VPN, connect to an Australian VPN, and then just start Steam, and then shut it off, and then start Steam again.
If only that weren't against the terms of service.
It is against the terms of service, but in theory it is possible, and we heard some people did it. So
I feel like before we talk about this, we should talk about what we did to Joel like the few days before.
Oh, Joel,
it was the same. It was
It wasn't the same day.
It was the Sunday. It was the Sunday.
Oh,
it was the night
you're right,
before.
yeah.
Do you mind?
No,
if we say
go
what we
ahead.
did?
No, yeah,
All right,
that's
Dave,
fine.
you started this. We'll do this pretty quickly. Dave, you started the whole thing. Well, no,
It was
back
Dave
up,
and I
back
were
up.
sitting and talking.
Right before episode 100, Joel and James staged a huge fight on Skype that ended with them quitting the podcast in disgust. Just because we were all kind of stressed getting things ready for episode 100, and they just wanted to, or I think it was 101, and they were just trying to get a rise out of me and mess with me. And they totally got me. I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. And then a couple weeks later, Joel and a bunch of us, Joel started talking in our group chat about how he doesn't think The Witcher 3's graphics are very good, which led to Dave not getting anything done for hours as he just researched screenshot after screenshot after screenshot after technical explanation with Joel just going, yeah, I'm just not really convinced. So after that, Joel said something along the lines of, I don't think you guys, I think James said, well, we're going to get you back. And Joel said, no, I don't really know if you could. I don't know if I can be trolled like that. So let's go to last Sunday. Dave, what happened?
So last Sunday we were gonna play some DayZ in our group, just for old time's sake. And Joel was running late, so it was just me and James hanging out on Teamspeak, and a bunch of the rest of our crew were hanging out in a different Teamspeak channel. I think they were playing like GTA, hanging out in the Arma 3 channel for some reason. So I was like, oh man, there's a bunch of people online. I should just change one of my non-Steam shortcuts to the Fallout 4 icon and put like Fallout 4 press copy, like in brackets and all caps. And so I did that, which of course actually in reality launched my GOG.com copy of Witcher 3, go figure. And I launched it, and a few of the people in our group started freaking out a bit. But when Joel got on, we decided just to roll with it. Yeah, there was some anger. There was some definite anger. So when Joel hops on, we basically decided to just keep rolling with it and just try to convince him that we got a bunch of review copies for early review of Fallout 4.
And it was great because when Joel first hops on, he's like, yeah, maybe I don't really know if I want to play it early. He was more like, wow, it's really cool. You guys got these. This is kind of weird. I wasn't expecting this. Neither was I. So we kind of played it off. And I did the same thing as Dave. I changed my Witcher 3 loaded into Steam version to say Fallout 4 press copy. And then we played it off like I'd been reaching out to Bethesda to get review copies. And they'd come through and given us 4 or 5 keys. And Joel was like, yeah, I don't really care that much. I don't know if I'm going to play it. I mean, it's cool. It's really cool. We got it. He's like, well, maybe I'll take a look. And the tinges of desperation are starting to seep into his voice. I'm on the main menu. Dave is unpacking the game right now. We're about to play Fallout 2 days early. James is still downloading though, so he's
3
not ready.
days early.
You guys just completely upset my world because everything was planned for Monday night. I had food set aside.
I explained that, Joel.
Yeah, everything. I mean, Joy had jury duty on Tuesday, so we were just we were gonna hang out together.
How did you arrange that anyway?
I've got ties. But I was just I don't know. I was just set. Monday night, I'm stoked, and so it's I didn't really want to play Fallout then. I wasn't ready in the mood. I wasn't because if I jump into it, I want to jump into it. And I was just I was planning to hang out with Joy, and I'm you guys are all playing it, and then James was gonna play it without me. I was we were gonna play together. I was
that was the
pissed,
betrayal.
But I was trying not to be pissed.
You're trying to be pissed, and at the same time, you kind of wanted to boot it up too.
Yeah, but I also of course.
I mean, you did check the email.
So
you did try to check
So we
the
told
email.
Joel they sent us all the keys in the group email account. So Joel's checking it. Of course, he doesn't see him. And I say, well, they're in the press requests folder over there on the side. which is not a real folder. But this just worked out because Joel's been having an issue on his computer where sometimes it won't load updates to Google Drive folders unless he clears out his browser cache. So we played it off like, the same thing must be happening this time. So Joel's clearing out his browser cache and, some things are not going, my phone woke up. I said its name.
Is your phone's name Joel?
No, I said something. I said something related to Google, and it started Googling what I was talking about. But that's the little big brother over there, just keeping an eye out. So Joel's like clearing out his browser cache, and like, it's right there in the folder. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I had gone down to the other chat and kind of played it up, like, what's going on? Like not knowing what Dave was doing. Mm-hmm. I have to give Steven credit. He was definitely the most skeptic. Naturally, being the older,
the older
wiser,
skeptic of the group,
the wiser. He was skeptical. I think Shane was skeptical too, but just kind of indifferent. Tyler, poor Tyler.
Tyler was running after the hype train, going, "Wait for me! Wait!
I won't repeat the message that he sent Dave, but
it was very vile.
It was saucy. And then finally, I was like, "Hey guys, yeah, we're totally trying to punk Joel. Can you guys?" Carry it over to the group me. And so we had them talking about it in there too.
And then, so it's been about 10 minutes now. I did record all this, or I recorded about like 2 minutes into it. I started recording and I finally said, okay, well, we'll just copy and paste the key for you so you can add it to Steam since you can't see it. Like, we'll just do that. And Joel's like, oh, okay. So I write up like a 4-section long key, which is not how Steam keys work. And I sent it to him. He did notice that after a minute or two. He played off like, because I'd forgotten that was the wrong format for Steam keys. So I was like, it must be a press version.
No, I didn't notice it was a fake key. I just noticed that it didn't work.
Right, I know, but I think you asked about the 4 sections. I was like,
something doesn't look right.
So
I had the key right here, Jeremiah. I can put it into chat. Yeah. For everyone watching on YouTube
and then of course the key didn't work, and like we're double checking. Are you sure you're doing it correctly? Are you sure you're reading it right? And finally, Dave was like, "Okay, I will read it out loud for you." And Dave, can you read the key out for everybody?
It basically comes out to "You're so gullible." And
I didn't actually realize it said that. I didn't realize it said that. I was just listening because I was just listening to you say it, so I was typing it in. I was just like, I thought you were just making that up on the spot. Holy crap, you actually put it in the key, you sons of bitches.
and then there was just silence. And then Joel said something I can never repeat. But then he was cool like 5 seconds later. Joel loves jokes and stuff, as far as I know. So once he realized it was a joke, were you okay at that point,
Oh,
Joel?
yeah, no, I was fine.
Okay.
But first I was just like, we were going to play it together. I was like, you assholes, you PC Master Race bitches.
Oh, yeah, we have to do the same. And
don't worry, Joel will repeat it for us, so you don't have to.
I told Debbie we were pranking Joel. And 5 minutes later, she asked if the keys were real because she was excited because we were all talking about it. Like, I explicitly told her, this is not real. We're teasing Joel. And then 5 minutes later, are there really press keys?
The hope was so strong.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. It's like he's smart enough to figure this out. It's just the Fallout blinders were down.
Yeah.
Well, we've gotten keys for other games, so I didn't know maybe that you struck another connection. You used some of your services with Bethesda to get us some Fallout keys.
That's why we played it that way.
Yeah, it came together pretty quickly, so we're pretty happy. Anyway, back to Fallout 4. So we actually ended up just playing it at midnight on Tuesday when the game released. We all started together.
The faithful of us did.
Yes. So did it unlock at midnight Eastern Standard Time on consoles?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Were you guys happy that I ended up buying the game and was ready to go when it released?
Yeah, that was cool. Obviously didn't expect you to pre-order after the crap you gave.
I didn't pre-order though. That's the thing. I stand by what I did was not pre-ordering. The game was out in numerous time zones around the world. All the reviews said thumbs up. People who were actually playing the game, which is who I trust more, said thumbs up. So at that point, I was
okay.
That's what I was waiting for. So yeah, it's not out in my region.
You were there at launch.
I was there at launch. It wasn't out in my region, but the game was actually out. People were playing the same version I would be getting, and they said it was good to go. So yeah, I wanted to get it. I wanted to get it and be ready for launch, if at all possible, so that I don't know, just to be with you guys.
I'm not judging, but Dave wasn't there.
I was
Dave.
busy.
Dave.
He was busy looting that.
The camaraderie.
Yeah, Dave, I had been under the impression we were all going to be on voice chat together, and then Dave
Now-
was like, no, screw you guys. I took a nap. I've
gonna
eaten.
go
I
play
have
my-
coffee.
my single-player
Peace."
immersion.
Yeah, that's what he basically
I
said.
am
Was single player
curious,
game. Later, guys.
What did you guys do on voice chat? Was it just like squealing? Did you guys hold hands?
We did synchronize a couple things, like leave the vault together, finish our character creator together.
Yeah.
There were-
It wasn't.
We
it
sent
wasn't,
screenshots of what we all
Yeah,
look like.
it was
It
pretty
wasn't
mild.
ridiculous chatting where it was like you couldn't hear the game or anything. It was just
Yeah.
mostly like, oh, dude, look at this thing. This is awesome. And yeah.
You guys would not have wanted to sync up the character creator with me.
Well, I mean,
At all.
You could have kept going from when you unlocked the game until when it officially launched at midnight.
I adjusted everything. I timed it. I spent 28 minutes in the character creator.
Jesus, I spent 5.
How long did you spend, Dave? You said?
28 minutes.
Oh, wow. You did beat Joy. She
How
spent
much-
26 minutes.
How much time did you guys all spend? So Dave spent 20 whatever minutes. How
I think
long
I was
did
done
we
like
spend?
10 minutes.
Yeah, I think I was
didn't
done in
send-
5.
We were all Joel and you and I did it about the same time.
How much time have you guys played since then? What's everyone's hour count up to?
I don't
31.
know. Is there a way to tell
31?
actually in the game?
Yeah, if you go to your save files, it'll tell you that you've played like a day and so many hours or
Like,
whatever.
do you have to click on load, like load saves, and then
Yeah.
see it right there? Oh, okay. I don't know, but I would wager. How much you said, James?
Be right back.
How many hours you said you played?
About 31.
Yeah, that I'm easily around 30, 35.
Dave, what are you at?
33.
14.
You peasant.
I had to finish the wedding season.
That's a lot of hours for one game.
I have to
like for
work
most
and
games,
do
that's a lot of
life.
hours.
Yeah. That's more than I normally played. Tyler's
For
at
most
39
games.
hours. Yeah, that's more than I would normally have played in a 1 week period. I put forth a special effort for this show tonight so that I could talk about it with you guys without sounding like an idiot. But for thoughts while playing the first couple hours, let's go around in a circle. Dave, unless someone wants to go first. James, you were just about to open your mouth.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
You don't want to
You're
go
eyeing
first.
everybody's lips.
I was going to say, I think our circles might be different. I guess I could look at the chat on YouTube. All right, there we go. Now I know what our circle looks like.
Your circle?
Yeah, Skype, when Skype does it, it's different
gotcha,
on
gotcha.
everybody's.
Yeah. Okay. Dave.
First couple hours. We had seen so much of the intro that I just kind of coasted through it. I did love just the brief glimpse of the before the war time period. I've always wanted that in a Fallout game, and it reminded me of some of the flashbacks from like the BioShock series, like, you know, before disaster strikes. I always love that kind of thing. The first thing that struck me was that that first Vault Tech guy that comes to your door has like no soul. Like his mouth is like black inside. Like he has no mouth. He's like, hello, I am from Vault Tech. I was like, oh god.
And he's also basically just, hi, I am plot exposition. I am Finnish character creator. That's my name. Would you like to finish character creator with me? Finnish
loved-
character creator.
Maybe he's a synth.
I loved his voice though. It was pretty great. But yeah, for the first few hours, I told Joel later that I was very happy that this time around I set my expectations. I'll call them much more reasonable than I had for Fallout 3. They were technically lower than I had for Fallout 3. But because of that, like, I just was pleasantly surprised at like every turn. Like some of the voice acting I really liked. I loved the character creator. The whole, you know, pre-war stuff I really enjoyed. Going into it, not quite riding the hype train quite as hard really helped. I was very happy that I kind of, I don't know, kept a reasonable outlook before launch.
We'll agree to disagree on the level to which any of you guys were or were not on the hype train.
I'm just, what I'm doing, Jeremiah, I'm comparing it to my hype train for Fallout 3, where I read the Fallout
gotcha.
Bible.
Gotcha,
And like,
okay,
like
fair
studied
enough.
the Fallout Bible.
Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah.
Okay,
It was under control this time, trust me.
James?
Pleasantly surprised for my first
Pleasantly
few hours.
surprised. Okay.
A few things that stood out, like, I mean, obviously, I loved the intro. Like, Joel and I have been talking about doing something pre-war for a long time. Just, like, that'd be really cool to do, like, a little short film or something. So actually being able to play it was cool. I actually died a few times in the intro, So I kept running down the street instead of turning off the path, and the bomb kept going off. Like, what the heck's going on? Am I stuck in a save thing already? It's like, oh wait, I got to turn here. It's amazing. If you go straight, the bomb goes off in 3 seconds. If you go this way, you've got an extra minute and a half. But once I actually got out of the vault, I think that's when it got cool. When I actually got to really start looking around for stuff, it's like, yeah, this is going to be one of those games where I spend a lot of time doing this. But yeah,
did you pretty quickly end up at the Red Rocket gas? Oh, by the way, in case it's not obvious, spoilers, guys.
Minor spoilers for the beginning.
Minor spoilers,
really.
yeah. Did you pretty much immediately hit the Red Rocket gas station and then the small town?
I wouldn't say immediately.
Well,
but,
relative, like within the first hour, you know.
Yeah. I think we all got there around the same time.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any other thoughts of the first couple hours?
For me, I think the coolest segment from the start was that intro cinematic, like short film thing.
Oh,
I was
very
not
nice.
expecting that, and I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I
for
forgot
me,
about
it
that.
just that got the right emotions going. I was like, this is gonna be cool. I just like the music was great. The tone of it was neat. I don't know. It was just like, man,
Yeah, it
I'd
was
watch a
awesome.
movie like this in a second.
I had forgotten all about that. I want to watch that again now.
Yeah,
I will say I was surprised at. Oh, I won't give this away, even though it's right at the beginning. But I didn't expect, like, when you wake up and see what you see, I didn't expect that to happen. Like, it was a little darker than I thought the story was going to be. I mean, not that it stays dark like that, but
The Fallout games have historically been pretty dark, haven't they?
well, I mean, Fallout 3, your dad leaves the vault. I mean, that's not that heart wrenching, but this.
Okay.
And
I
James,
think for entertainment purposes, it's not like heart wrenching. Like if that really happens, yeah, that's heart wrenching. But like playing a game, it's like it's not happening to you. It's not that bad.
It's
Like,
very
it's
early
not
in the game too.
graphic,
Like
it's not-
she's the character is someone that you're supposed to know very well, but in the game you've just met this character, so like it's not a huge deal to you.
Yeah,
Right.
That was actually kind of my problem with it. It wasn't. I think it was supposed to be a bigger deal maybe than it was, but I think it'd be hard for anyone to think that was that big a deal because you don't like. This is some random person you just met, as far as you, the gamer, are concerned. Like
Exactly.
it's your wife or husband. If you play as a woman, I guess we're all playing as men.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if you're playing as a man, your wife gets shot. If you're playing as a woman, your husband gets shot.
And then they
and
steal
you-
a baby.
and you steal your son. So, yeah, I mean, I wasn't really.
I mean, it wasn't an emotional investment. It was just like, from watching all the trailers and stuff, I didn't think that was going to happen. Like I figured your family was just going to die in the blast, and you're going to be awakened.
Although
by
I'll
yourself.
say, man, at the beginning of The Last of Us, when your daughter
Oh
dies,
gosh,
with Joel's son,
that scene just.
I mean,
oh.
that's also after not very much time, and I definitely was a lot more emotionally invested in that.
Well,
that was-
I mean, there was a lot of acting involved in that. You know what I mean? Like there was more talking.
It's apples and
crying
oranges as far as the type
Yeah.
of games. Obviously, it's
You
a very
need, to
much more
try,
time.
you need to try Heavy Rain, and then
I know, but I don't have a PS3.
I was gonna say too,
It's
James,
coming.
talking about just the going into that section where you're going into the vault. Anyone who's played a Fallout before, probably that the vaults, most of them were not vaults to protect people. They were a way for this company to take advantage of the population for experiments, more or less. So going into it, the foreshadowing of like everything felt just off, and it was
Like,
so
oh yeah,
awesome.
just got to put on your suit, climb into this giant lockable box real quick.
And like some
Yeah,
people are
yeah.
being held back with no explanation. They're searching through people's luggage. Everyone's super chipper and happy, and like an atomic bomb just went off. So you have like devastation behind you. This really unsettling vault in front of you. Like the only way is forward. I like the foreshadowing in that first part a lot.
Now, do they tell you about that in the story? Have I just not gotten to that part in the story yet? I mean, I know that from the Fallout lore, but if I didn't know Fallout lore before this,
they actually do have a part in the game that kind of talks about that.
I guess I just haven't gotten to it yet. Yeah.
Every
Now,
game does explain that at some point. Every Fallout game tends to explain
Did you
that.
find any of the other vaults yet, Dave?
Only on the map. I haven't actually explored them yet.
Oh, okay.
I've been in at least one, I think.
Yeah, for
okay.
the-
I don't want to spoil anything on that because that is a few hours into the game
Okay.
from the intro.
Now, what are the big differences you guys notice between Fallout 4 and Fallout 3? I'm not going to answer this because I haven't played enough Fallout 3, but you guys certainly have. Fallout 3 and New Vegas, what are the biggest differences you
I'm
notice?
saying Joel and James take this away because you guys
First
played
thing-
more
yeah.
Fallout 3 than I have.
First thing I was gonna say is going from gunplay that feels like you're playing something that like somebody modded in first person shooter capabilities from Fallout 3. This one, it's like, oh wow, it feels like you're playing Destiny, but a little slower.
It went
a little bit more
it
tactical.
went from playing Oblivion with guns to actually having some shooting mechanics. Like it wasn't
feels like
necessarily
Borderlands.
based on a roll.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
a
it does feel like
virtual
Borderlands.
roll.
Yeah, that I mean,
So I like that a lot better. I mean,
smoothness of the gameplay.
VATS is still based on your stats, but your main shooting, you can actually kind of aim and hit stuff this time. So, what else?
Oh, I was gonna say, just like honestly, movement controls, animations of walking, a lot of that, like everything. You just don't feel as stiff. Like it still has a little bit of wonkiness, but like compared to Fallout 3, it is like so different for just walking around, interacting with objects, jumping on stuff, jumping, like everything. Like even from the gun sway, when you jump up, the gun kind of moves and stuff as you jump. Like where Fallout 3, it would just stick there. You jump and it felt like the old Half-Life games or something. It didn't have a lot of animation. Like think of like Battlefield, when you jump and vault over stuff, your gun, the whole body kind of sways. Like they added a lot of that to the game, and that really helps you kind of, I feel like, connect to the character and connect to the environment.
The things that people said that it's basically an upgrade to Fallout 3, but there are things that dynamically change the way you play the game. When you're walking around and looting, and you're not having to go into like a full screen menu of the contents.
Oh yes,
it completely changes the way you walk by something, and you're like, I don't see anything in there, and you just keep moving.
Yeah,
as
you
opposed to
browse
always
a lot
being
quicker.
brought out and cut off and stuff.
The music and sound effects doesn't stop too, because whenever you loot, the music and sound effects like stop in Fallout 3, and then it cuts back to it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so this
Also-
is like you're continually more immersed into the environment.
Also, the changes to VATS, while it's a small change, it's a perfect change, because it just slows down time. Like before, like everything just froze. It's like there was no sense of urgency to get your shots off. Now it's like, all right, I gotta make this decision now. Oh wait, I gotta you move my camera over to this character because that's the one that's closer, type thing. So there is more of a sense of urgency.
Yeah, it keeps the tension up during hard gunfights.
And that was the thing about VATS before, is that I felt like I was almost just cheating the whole time. And I find myself not even using VATS as much now because the aiming's better, and because you have just as much of a chance of getting hit by somebody if you go to VATS than if you don't. I've just been not using it as much, which I think is kind of cool.
I love the ability they can actually like climb up a mountain on the side and like look down into a settlement and actually snipe people out before going in. With the last one, it was really hard to do that, because if you didn't have a VATS to be able to go really far away or is a low chance, this one you can actually like shoot a sniper rifle. It has pretty long drawing distances for a lot of the enemies that I feel like you can actually take people out. Kind of reminded me of DayZ. Like I like that. It was like, oh, I got to take out the people, snipers, and then move in.
Speaking of DayZ, my first experience of just going off the beaten path and exploring very much felt like a survival MMO type thing. Not in a bad way, in a more polished than a DayZ or H1Z1, where I'm going through houses looking through stuff and feral ghouls are coming at me. But they've made them like way faster than they were before. Before they were just like, but now they lunge at you and you're like, oh crap. And they can take a lot of hits to kill. So when you see a few, it's just like it's a little terrifying at first. What are you gonna say, Dave?
You just reminded me of one of the biggest changes that jumped out at me from Fallout 3 is the stiffness of the monster enemies in Fallout 3 compared to 4. In 4, the bloat flies, the mosquitoes, like everything has a unique attack where it can grab you or like react with the terrain in a unique way. The enemies don't just float and like run in place.
Yeah.
You know that like annoying Fallout 3 like running in place over like obstacles and stuff? The enemies' animations and attacks especially are much more varied and much more believable.
What's that blood thing? What's it called?
I just call it the
little bug?
Giant mosquito.
The one that like it'll come up, it'll like shoot like some kind of like radiated venom at you,
Yeah.
hit you, and then it'll fly away.
Yeah.
It pisses me off because I can't like. I mean, I can use VATS to hit it, but like I can't because it's moving around so much. It's hard to hit, and then
The
it's
one
like
that-
shooting stuff at you, and you're like,
The one that got me,
Cazador.
those stupid mosquitoes that like they have all those legs.
That's
that
what
fly up to
that's
you.
what I'm talking about. It's called blood something.
Well, there's two types. The one that I hate the most though isn't the one that spits at you. It's the one that wraps on your face, and then like you like start to look down with your head, and like you see the stinger rear back and just go right into your. I'm just like In first person, it's actually like it makes you cringe. It's really horrifying.
Yeah, I
your
love that
first
people can like angle around corners, peek out of cover,
Yes,
jump over.
shooter
Like,
stuff.
they actually jump over cover and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not like if you were to play it as a Call of Duty game, it's not fantastic animations, but for a Fallout game, it's really good.
There's a little bit more intelligence to the AI than before. But the first time seeing the death claw, like I wasn't prepared for it, even though I saw a clip of it in the E3 presentation. Like it was a little bit more terrifying than I thought it was going to be. Not that I was like literally terrified. It was just, you have your power armor and you're trying to fight this thing, and it's like running at you, and like it's just like the animations are a lot better, and so it doesn't feel as disconnected as it did before.
And they had some extra sound effects too, James, for that part, like the sound of like the sewers like shaking and creaking and hissing, and the sound of like the manhole cover being knocked loose, and extra growling and whatnot. So it was a lot more dramatic and intense, like actually being there.
Did you explore that tunnel?
No,
Where the death claw came
You didn't
out?
go in the tunnel, Dave?
I peered into the tunnel and I was like, oh, I'll come back.
There might be more down there. See ya.
My power armor battery was low.
I was in some town and I saw a Deathclaw in the distance, and I was like heading towards it. There was like loot boxes there. I was just like backed up slowly into the shadows, and then I see other citizens go up. They're like, it's a Deathclaw. They're like running, and I'm like, I've got like a big laser gun. I'm like, I should help, but no. You see him, I was like, quiet, it'll all be over soon.
You're a terrible person.
But I survived.
So, what do you guys think about the way crafting / base building stuff's been implemented?
Ooh, I want to take this one first
Go
if
ahead,
you guys
Dave.
don't mind, because I joked around on our pre-Fallout cast that I had a feeling that I was really going to enjoy the crafting. What I didn't expect is that of my 33 hours, half of it would be spent crafting my settlements. Like
You
you
didn't expect it. We did. We expected you to do that.
It really
We know you,
is.
Dave.
There's so many jokes about like Fallout The Sims. The crafting works really well. I've heard it works almost exactly the same as a crafting like base building mod from New Vegas did, where you can just place a bunch of the props from the game. And what I didn't expect was you can not only build on those foundations, which we knew about, but you can build anywhere in the settlement area, which your starting one, Sanctuary Hills, is huge, one of the biggest ones in the game. So me, being the immersive player, I didn't just clear out the debris and start building a big block tower. I left a bunch of the old destroyed houses, refurnished them, used different smaller pieces to like seal up the roof, seal up all the gaps, which took up tons of memory, by the way, to do it piece by piece. And I'm repopulating the town and actually building a wall that looks like it fits in with the destroyed neighborhood. Like, it looks like a settlement you might run into in any of the Fallout games just wandering up upon it, except for mine has, like, monolithic defense towers at all the gates with turrets and spotlights everywhere and, like, electricity. But the depth of the crafting really surprised me. And for the most part, it's very easy to do, too. It's a little too particular, I think, for the looting. If you're doing a lot of the crafting, like, you do spend a little too much time looking for, like, that last little bit of copper and whatnot. And there's perks to help you get more loot, but I think I'm spending like a little too much time just disassembling armor to try to get pieces. I think the stuff in the world could give you just a little bit more for people like me, maybe. But the ability to not only build a town, not just on those bases, but anywhere to plant farms. You can run water, you can run electricity and lights, you can hang ceiling fans. I have an overseer's desk in my old house in my town where I have like notebooks and like bottles of beer.
Like bottles of beer, like everywhere, hand placed.
Yeah, I have a whiskey shelf with my American flag trifold on it. I have paintings on the wall. Like it is The Sims Fallout, and it's actually pretty compelling because you have people who, the better your settlement gets, the more people arrive. You can assign them to like storefronts. They can sell weapons to get you income. They can get more food going. They go around to all the defense towers you can build, which you can either make your own defense towers or you can build them on top of other like old abandoned structures. And they'll actually walk around from point to point and defend the base. I keep laughing too because I have so many turrets and defensive towers and people defending my settlement. I've never seen an attack, but occasionally I'll fast travel back to my settlement everyone would just be like, "Oh, those raiders thought we were easy pickings. We sure showed them." And I'm like, "Do you guys eat the bodies?" Like every time I come back, there's like everyone's talking about how awesome that defense was of the town. I'm imagining the turrets probably just wiped them out. Like I don't know. Like,
Does everyone look like they're starving?
But yeah, the workshop and the base building is surprisingly compelling even for me. I've been very impressed with that.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be that early in the game.
I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. Even after I discovered that, hey, I don't really think this matters as far as like the overall game experience, I was like, well, a lot of things don't matter. I don't need 40 cars and garages in Grand Theft Auto Online, but I have
Because
them.
I can.
You think I'm exaggerating? I'm not.
No, he's got multiple garages.
I'm so poor.
You're living
Yeah,
out your
James?
fantasies in game.
I was gonna say, I didn't expect to enjoy it that much. Like I saw it and I thought, oh, that'd be awesome to build like a town, but I thought, there'd be like maybe 30, 40, 50 hours into the game that I would get to doing something like that. And when I first went into the world building mode and saw that I could just walk up and like basically Pac-Man all the materials, like eat them all and like all of a sudden be available to me, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah,
So
we
I'm
get
just
to your
chomp,
neighborhood.
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
I saw something turn yellow on the ground when I was trying to make stuff. I was like, what's that? It says, do you want to convert this to materials? I was like, sure. And I see something else in here. I'm like, sure. I'm like, wait. And then it was like the next 2 hours just go.
Yeah, well, I didn't know
I
you
can
could,
build
I didn't know you could eat the
anything.
entire house. I was like, oh, I put the little power generator, the stuff that you had to do right at the start. I was like, okay, I'll come back to this later. And then I watched Dave showed me a clip and I was like, you just got all the material from a freaking house. I'm like, yeah, the next thing I played, 4 hours of crafting. But my town is shit.
My town is amazing. People won't come to it though. I have
a
everything.
beacon.
I have a beacon. I have defense. I have water. I have
Do you have
walls.
2 beacons?
I have. Does that make a difference?
How many people do you have? Do you have enough beds and stuff?
I have, yeah. I have loads of beds. I have like mansions for people to live in. I have 8 people.
Loads of beds.
8 people. I have
when you I think when you go to other
turrets protecting
settlements,
them.
you'll get more people,
Exactly, yeah. You have to expand to other
I
settlements.
have
and that'll
2
get-
other settlements running.
and you can send those people to your
I've
town.
got supply trains running. I'm doing it all right. They don't
You guys
love
spread
me.
the word, Jeremiah.
Why don't they
word
love
has to
me?
travel.
They love me. Where do you guys get
when-
more copper?
when you-
I've recycled all the copper. Where do you find all your crafting materials in the world?
Ooh, I got this. For copper, hot plates, desk fans, and broken lamps.
Oh, I should be taking all of that.
Yes. Oh, you didn't know that.
This isn't like the first time I played Oblivion. I was like, maybe I do need a 10th broken wooden bowl. Sure.
That's the great thing about this game is that in the past, you get the ammo, you get the stim packs.
Right.
If you really, really want to build a rocket launcher, you get the parts for that. But really, you don't need to craft in the other game. This makes like every piece of loot to some value to you.
Yes.
Like you're looking. The meme was like, what was the meme? It showed like all this ammo and then like, ooh, wonder glue.
Where do you do you get back to the workbench? Where do you convert it?
What you do is go to the workbench, and there's actually a hot button that says store all junk. And everything from the junk list that can be converted to materials just goes right into the workshop inventory in one click. Boom.
It's that easy.
It will auto convert
And now
if
your
you're
life is
building something on the fly. Like if you're
Yeah.
building something at like an armor bench or a gun bench, it will convert whatever. Like if say you have a hot plate, it will consider that raw material, even though it's a hot plate. And when you use it, it then converts it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, one last little thing on crafting.
yeah.
I this is something I love personally because when I have to work a lot at collecting stuff or crafting, I'm not really that into crafting stuff. And so because it is really easy in Fallout, and when it was like, oh, I want to create a suppressor for a rifle, I click one button and it tells you, I'll give you an icon next time you see it in the world, and you'll know, collect it, and then you can make a suppressor. To me, that was like a godsend to be able to actually do it. Because for me, I'm like, crap, what do I have to do? I don't want to, I don't know, I just want to write down all of it. Like maybe after hours of playing, I might just remember. But I was like, for me, it's like, crafting is, I don't know, for me,
I can
it's
tag
more
it
work.
all.
It's more work. So yeah, but now I literally have everything tagged. So I'm like, that's not helpful. Everything, I'm like, I gotta get this. I gotta get
So
this.
I need
Like,
every
wait
piece of
a
loot.
sec.
Now
I
you'll
know.
know what over encumbered feels like, Joel. Yes.
And there is a perk, Jeremiah, that allows you to get rare stuff like copper from disassembling things, just like common things like shotguns and like leather armor you don't need.
One thing I don't like is, okay, so I'm picking up all these pipe pistols off everybody, and all I get is like a little bit of steel or something. And I'm like, no, there's wood, there's metal, there are these screws that apparently are so hard to find. I'm looking right at them.
Maybe you're unskilled at taking it apart and you ruin the stuff when you're taking it apart. I don't know. That's the
And there might be a perk for that. Who knows?
There's 2 levels of perks that do get you more materials, like the screws.
Oh.
But they want you to use the perks for that, basically.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, apparently you're like all thumbs when you disassemble without the perks, just smashing things.
Yeah,
I want this gun.
disassemble
You're
by
right
just
beside a cliff. You're like, I do it. Oh, I forgot everything fell except for the steel beam.
Yeah, you only have the big pieces that survive. You're like, I guess this is all it makes.
Your workbench is right over like the drain in the street. Oh, my parts!
It's weird because the way they did the perk system too is so different than the other games. Like the other games, you're like, I need to get stuff for hacking and lockpicking. But now it's like, do I want to get better at armoring so I can do this upgrade to my, to my armor, or, doing something like blacksmithing wasn't something I would have considered doing, except I really wanted that sword that I have to be electrified. And so, yeah, I'm using completely different perks than I would have if they didn't have the usefulness that they do.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is a Bethesda game, which means some things do not work like they probably should, which is the nicest way we can put that. There was that famous part in New Vegas where if you had a certain hat and you wore it to the Vegas Strip, you had to wear that hat anytime you came back or the game would crash and corrupt your save. And there were only 2 hats in the game like that. Like, it was the most, obviously no one knew that was going to be a problem.
Dark Souls Fallout Edition.
It's like, obviously they didn't know that was going to be a problem. That's such a weirdly specific thing. And it doesn't affect that many people.
You should have known when it was called the hard hat of crash protection.
But, so what type of bugs have you guys come across in Fallout? Dave?
My favorite one, this is probably 3 hours into the game or so, I was ambushed by a, was it a Mirelurk, right? The crab-like things, is that the right way to say it? Mirelurk? Mirelurk, that's what it is, Mirelurk. Mm-hmm. He just came out of the water right next to me and surprised me, so I quickly went into VATS to do like a quick response shot, and I clicked on him once to do an attack with my pistol, and then I was just looking at a forest. I was like next to a lake, and then I was just looking at a forest, and like my brain just stopped working for like half a second because I couldn't process what just happened. So I exited VATS. I just looked around and I'm like, I'm in a forest. What just happened? And then I hear dog meat like yip like 200 meters away. I turn and like zoom, and there's the lake way down there. It just teleported me next to a rock 200 meters away when I went into VATS and clicked. Like, I had to run to go save dog meat. Like, I don't know where that
hackers in this
from.
game? What?
4chan! It's 4chan! He's here!
It's a hacker known as 4chan.
I haven't really had that many bugs, honestly. The only thing I had was a fight. I set a sentry bot up to go out and do some attacking for me, and he was stuck. Like, he would not move. He was just scanning the ground. So I'm like shooting him to try to kill him, and like it's taking forever. So I go up to try to melee him. And when I do that, like it knocks him loose, and he turns around like red, looking at me, and then starts shooting me.
It's like, I'm trying to help you, you peaceful but stupid race.
I will say that this is the least buggy Bethesda game I've ever played. I've had
wait till you get to my part.
I've had one severe frame rate drop where I went from the 60s to the 30s when looking in one direction from the top of one building. And then I had one frame rate drop into the 50s near Diamond City. Other than that, 60 FPS locked, not a single crash to desktop, and the game has been 100% stable. So that, you know, for me, the least buggy Bethesda game ever. Been very happy with that. I will say that for all the awesome things that this creation engine can do, like I think this really is one of the best engines for this type of game. Like they know their engines so well, and they're able to create these worlds that kind of like Arma. It's like a giant sandbox. Like it's rough around the edges, but man, it can do a lot. But it still does have that Bethesda wonk. I'll just call it the Bethesda wonk. It's not nearly as bad as Fallout 3,
Bethesda wonk.
But, you know, it's there. There's dog meat will teleport upstairs, and
you'll be like halfway up the elevator, and then you'll see the guy go bloop in the elevator with you.
Dude, that scared the crap out of me because I was like, he'll meet me upstairs, I guess. I turned around and he's like, hey, howdy. I was like, oh shit.
I was letting Christian watch me for a few minutes, and I got in the elevator, and then he popped. He was like, "Dad, there's someone right there."
Joel, I saved this clip for you. When I got to Diamond City, I listened to the mayor give a speech. Like there was like a crowd watching. After the speech is over, like the crowd's supposed to disperse and like walk back to all the different houses and stuff, right? Well, everyone turns to walk away, and this one woman like very stiffly like looks at me, turns, joins the crowd, and then crouches, and she sneaks in the middle of the crowd. Just all the way, I followed her for like 2 minutes back into town. She just snuck the whole time. I was laughing so hard. After the end, I just crouched next to her, and we both just crawled back into the city as slow as we could go. I was like, what are you doing?
Go ahead, Jeremiah.
I know this is going to sound a little biased because I'm the least Fallout fanboy of the group, but I haven't had as stable of experience as you guys. I've had one crash to desktop. I have had it lose my save file once where I died, and then the only option to restore was like 20 minutes earlier. And I was like, I don't think so. So I quit the game, and I looked at the save games. I started the game again, looked at the save game files in the game. It's just gone. That save file got eaten. So now I make a save like
Someone used it for crafting.
Every 30 seconds I'm quick saving. About every 30 seconds I quick save. I have 3 quests that I cannot proceed in because the thing they want me to do, I am doing, and it's not progressing the quest forward. 2 of them I have to go talk to people, and I go talk to them and nothing happens. Like they're not going anywhere. They're just sitting. And there's no dialogue options. I can't get them to respond to me. So I'm just checking back in every once in a while. Hopefully something will jar them loose. Neither of them are the main story, I think. So hopefully that's not a problem. Because like if I get 20 hours ahead and it turns out I got to reload a previous save, that's not happening. The frame rate hasn't been too bad. I'm playing at 4K. I V-synced at 45 FPS, which is a nice compromise. It definitely feels a lot better than 30. But that's about where my FPS was dropping to in cities and stuff. So
I forgot for a second you had the 980 Ti. I was like, how are you doing that? I'm thinking potato masher.
oh yeah.
Like, oh yeah, he does have a beast. Never mind.
Yeah.
He's pouring liquid nitrogen over it as he plays with like his other hand. Cool,
but
but
something I will say, I think it might be a 4K issue just because the physical size of the textures being loaded is larger. Texture streaming is incredibly slow. I'm having textures show up 30 seconds after I'm standing in front of something. The only thing I can figure is it's trying to load the best version of the texture possible, which it should be doing on lower end systems that have the highest textures enabled. So I'm not sure why. I'm just assuming it has to be a 4K bug because the only people I've seen complain about it being this bad are people who are playing at 4K. So I don't know.
Or the people at the top of the Master Race mountain.
No, those people are the people with SLI who, as usual, are complaining, why doesn't SLI work for this game? Because SLI doesn't work right for any games. Move on. But let's see, what other bugs have I had? It's mostly just stuff like people just floating through things and not responding or not doing stuff correctly. It's the same stuff that was happening in Oblivion. It just hasn't really gotten any better. The only thing that really bothers me is it losing my save file.
I lost my save file in Fallout New Vegas. This is on the 360.
We've heard this story, yeah.
I lost 60 hours of gameplay, so I don't even want to hear it.
I want to ask, have you guys all gotten the glitch where someone will be talking to you and their dialogue just ends?
It just ends, yeah.
You have to like talk to him again and they just start over again? I can't figure out.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's very consistent.
Pretty common.
Yeah, everyone's had that.
You probably wouldn't even necessarily notice it when it happens. Just because like they'll say something and then they'll kind of like look away or whatever. And then you kind of face them again to bring up dialogue choices. So it's not like you saw dialogue choices and they disappeared.
I kind of fell in love with some of the dialogue part when I went to some like rich restaurant and someone was like, oh, they left the riffraff in here. And then like literally the thing you could respond was bitch. And I was like, I wonder what he's going to say. And he just goes, bitch. And I was like, I was like, what did I expect? But I just figured he's going to be like, how dare you? But it was just like one word. He just goes, bitch. Like, well, I guess I deserve that. Sneak back away.
You whip out the fat man. You're like, all right, everyone's going to die.
Yeah, I did actually crash to desktop, not desktop, but I crashed to the the main PlayStation menu one time, but I think it was because Joel and I just finished a share play session. And I just think the combination of all of it just kind of, I mean, it probably could have done it with any game at that point.
Yeah.
But, you know, share plays, it's what it is, but it's good.
Right. It's a cool feature, but it doesn't work that well. And the Steam version doesn't always work that well either. I mean, they're just all like that. But what do you guys, since we're kind of segued to it, what do you guys think the game should do better? Realistically, like what stuff could they fix in future updates? Not, man, it would be great if the game didn't look like it was 3 years old. Okay, like if you think that, you're totally entitled to that opinion. Not saying you guys, but like the internet. But realistically, what do you think they could fix in patches that might be nice?
Did you guys read that email or that letter that Bethesda sent out?
Yep, they put out that letter saying they take your comments very seriously. They're working on QA. They want to fix stuff.
Well, they said they're going to do smaller patches, but
Right.
do it more often, and then try to quality test. I think that's pretty good.
It could be good, or it could be the NVIDIA model where they release driver updates constantly and they always break something and fix something. So hopefully it's not that.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
With the exception of just fixing stuff that needs to be fixed,
Yeah,
I got one while you-
I was gonna say, other than like, you know, characters kind of randomly walking through air or things like that. Honestly, I think the only thing I would maybe like is some updates to the crafting stuff. Just more of like the UI, how it is. Some of the structures, when you like look at them, I can't tell what it is. You know, sometimes like in the menu, just like. So they could add a few extra buttons or a few shortcuts to some stuff. That would be awesome. But really, I think the game's amazing. Like, yeah, I would love to have. I mean, the PS4 kind of holds about 95% at 30. It's really locked. I'm really impressed because the 360 for Fallout 3, which I played on in New Vegas for 360 as well. I mean, it was all over the place, but I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. But this time I was like, wow, it holds really well. It feels like playing Destiny. Like Destiny was a locked 30, and it felt great. So I would love to see a couple areas get improved. Some areas in the city, or just randomly, like I would be looking at it just a door, and then I would zoom in on the door, and it would go whoom, down to like 10 FPS for like a second. You know, stuff like that. But
something I don't know if they
Just
could
polish.
fix. I don't know if they could fix this or not, but something that really bugs me in the game that takes me out of enjoying visually how much it has improved is when it gets to nighttime. The lighting is so flat, like it really like takes a lot of the gloss off of the game. Not that it looks like, you know, Witcher quality graphics, but the lighting is significantly improved. I mean, there actually is lighting now.
And there's lighting and
dynamic
shadows.
lighting. But when nighttime hits, it's like I've never seen such flat lighting.
One thing that really helps
in a newer game.
Yeah. One thing that really helps on PC, James, is horizon-based ambient occlusion. So at night, even though there's no direct light that's casting a shadow, you still have intersecting shadows. So where a box is on the ground, it'll have that soft shadow in that corner where the box meets the ground, which really helps to ground objects and avoids that like flat, floaty feeling for the objects at night.
I was going to say, I don't feel like the lighting is that flat at night. It's not
Joel,
amazing.
did you
but
notice that?
I think this might be
Honestly,
a
I haven't.
platform-specific thing.
honestly, I haven't noticed that. I thought it's.
I think
okay.
it's-
like
it's platform,
There's
yeah.
not any like light bloom whatsoever. You know, I haven't seen like a bright moon, you know, kind of thing. But
Well,
I
I
guess
mean,
I haven't noticed that it's that.
in
bad.
nighttime,
the
you-
PS4's lighting is almost guaranteedly more simplistic because that's true of every single game I've tested on the Potato Masher. The PS4 versions always have fewer light sources. That's just one easy way you can save
Do you want
performance.
to? You should
and
do a
most people
little
don't notice.
comparison. If you get
Yeah,
a chance.
I should check them
Of
out
just
to
a
see.
nighttime shot.
But
You should make a potato masher video about Fallout.
maybe I should. So flatter lighting. I've got one. A lot of the performance hits that people seem to be experiencing, and on the PC, it's easier to kind of track down what the performance hits are. But I think this is the same reason that the frame rate is dropping on the consoles as well. It appears that the shadow draw distance in cities is too much, and every platform has trouble handling it, and that's why everything's cratering when people get into cities. And that's where the Xbox One and the PS4 both have the worst frame rate issues. So if they could patch it in a way, if they can patch it like,
Would,
so
would
that
you
you're-
say they could downgrade it?
No, actually, I don't
Sorry,
think they.
I just wanted to say Dave's trigger.
I think what they need to do is kind of do the same thing DayZ is going to be working on, where you only the only shadows that are getting drawn are the ones that you can see. Like stuff that's hidden behind buildings and stuff maybe is not dynamic. So when you're going into a city, it's not tripling the number of things the engine is trying to draw necessarily. It's dynamically streaming that in. Maybe they can do that. Maybe they can't. I don't know. But I think that could be possible. There can at least be improvements in the shadows when you get into cities, because that should help everybody's performance. I'd like to see that. And I would like to see the texture streaming massively improved, because it does pull you out of what's overall a pretty good graphics experience. It really pulls you out when something looks like it's like early PS3 quality textures. Like it looks really bad and it's very noticeable. So I would like to see them. I'm assuming that can be fixed. So we'll see what they do.
I haven't noticed it that much, even in the big cities. The only times I think may have noticed that is when, like, coming out of a building where it's reloading the world all again. But as far as just traveling around, I haven't noticed it that much. But
That's what I think.
mean, the PS4 is obviously way, way, way less graphically. What's the word? It has less graphical fidelity than
Right.
4K.
Oh, does Jeremiah have a 4K screen?
And you have 4K.
Does it have a 4K screen?
How is it running in 4K? Like,
Good. I mean, I'm
only
running
because
on
like the YouTube video you put on, I mean, like honestly, the video quality is pretty crappy on that video. Like even if you put it all the way up, it's still not great. So it's kind of really hard to tell.
on what video?
The Potato Masher one.
You
I don't-
watch the compressed version.
Did you watch the version on the podcast?
No, on YouTube. On YouTube, like even full, like it
okay.
still doesn't
Oh,
look amazing.
yeah,
but
it's
I know
YouTube.
in purpose,
Right, it's YouTube.
I'm sure it looks glorious.
It looks really good. Yeah, I think I've taken a couple screenshots. I guess I could share some. It looks really, really nice. It's mostly the sharpness. That's the biggest thing about 4K, is it kind of breaks that fourth wall a little bit. And that distant objects, like on the PS4, everything will be shimmery in the distance because you've got aliasing on power lines and buildings and stuff. That is so much more. It's like you don't even notice it because it's normal.
It's like a walking painting.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
not that like on The Witcher, actually, it's incredible how sharp everything is. Fallout 4 is not quite like that. It's mostly just in the distance, things just seem naturally good farther. So it's definitely, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I think 4K, like if I was doing it again, if I wasn't doing graphics work and photo editing on this, I probably would have just gotten 1440p. And if I was doing it again, I might have just gotten 1440p to avoid the hit in performance, but I'm definitely loving it 4K.
Speaking of which, 1440p looks fantastic.
Sweet. That does kind of suck every time because Dave and I have almost the exact same setup. Every time he's talking about how well it's running for him, I'm like, yeah, I mean, it runs about 2/3 as fast.
I
for me.
knew, Jeremiah. I knew I could not handle the performance hit. I have two 980 Ti's. I'd be working like 3 jobs right now.
Now you have a second monitor, Jeremiah, right? Is that
I have a
1080p?
third monitor. I have a 1080p next to me, and I have a 1680 by 1050 on the other side.
Maybe you should just get a 1440p and get rid of the 2 extra monitors.
Well,
So have a 4K and a 1440p, and then just
I would get the 1440p and keep the third monitor. It's a vertical monitor I use for email. It's not.
gotcha.
Yeah, it's not for immersion or anything.
So for
yeah.
my, I think, wish list item, like James said, the addition of the real-time lighting system with the God rays and just shadows has grounded the world so well. The daytime lighting is beautiful. It looks so good. My only bone to pick with the graphics is honestly just the texture resolution. Even the mesh quality, like, there's enough polygons for most stuff, it's fine. But there's just a lot of very blurry textures. And what surprised me was Bethesda released a PC-specific high-resolution texture pack for Skyrim, like 4 months after it came out? It wasn't too long after it came out.
I don't remember when, but yeah, it's a
maybe it's
free
closer
pack.
to 6 months. But I was really hoping to see that, like, at launch, like a PC-specific boost in texture resolution. 'Cause I think that would make the game look miles better. Just 'cause there are some very startling weak spots. Like I was taking a screenshot, my famous screenshot now, I posted it to Twitter, of my town from like the river. The water looks awesome, the town looks awesome, and then I looked down and there's a railing that was just really close to my camera that had like 4 pixels of texture smeared across it. It was just right in your face. It's just so distracting. Texture resolution is really the only thing that I hope that they tweak, and given the history with Skyrim, we have a good chance of that.
Well, even if they don't do it, I mean, the likelihood of someone releasing a mod.
Any second now, actually, there's probably
Yeah.
about 100 immersive 4K mods going up on the
I
Nexus.
mean, that's one of the best things about the PC version is, when someone creates something that's more to your liking, it's yours. You can play it that way.
Joel, I installed a mod like an hour before the podcast where when you slow walk in first person, instead of holding your gun out like this, you hold it sideways like this, and it's like animated when you walk and all too. It looks really cool.
And we laughed at him.
I know. I don't even care. I'm so immersed right now.
All right. Now, before we move on to talking about like the merchandise and things like James is wearing right now, which I actually do like that shirt. Anything you haven't covered so far when we've been talking about it, let's each person give your quick pros, cons, overall impression of the game as it is now based on your experience so far. So we'll start with Dave.
I just put a cough drop in my mouth.
We'll start with Joel.
I'll start with cons. I wish they didn't do crafting right off the bat. I wish that was something you got to unlock after like maybe 20 hours of gameplay or something.
No, boo.
Because I think it actually might be a little bit of a downfall to the game, actually, because I think people are going to burn themselves out on it. And then to get to the rest of the quest, it takes a lot. I mean, the game's a long game, like the same as Witcher 3. You know what I mean? Like if you're not into that kind of game and you just do side quests a little bit, and then like it takes a long time to kind of get into the meat of stuff. So I was like, man, this is awesome. But I'm like, dang it, I need to go actually do something else. So that's really my only con for it.
Oh yeah, I got to go do the main story.
The rest
now.
of it, it's been kind of like, to me, Fallout is virtual tourism for me. I get to explore feels like a real place to me that was...
That you hopefully never get to visit in that state.
Yeah, hopefully I never get to visit that. But in a way, it's really fun to visit a alternate universe in the 40s and 50s and with the music and everything. I love that. I love that Fallout can go from really serious to dressing up in a wig and talking like a comic book hero. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but I love it. 10 out of 10.
I don't remember that quest.
James,
Dressing up in a wig and talking like a comic book hero. Okay.
a quest is a general term. Really, the game.
I
is
mean, what you
played
do
in
outside
here.
the game, that's fine.
Yeah. All right.
The best parts for me is it's Fallout. I've always said that even if they just made, if it was the same graphics, same engine, same issues they had before, just giving me more of what I wanted, I would be at least happy. I mean, of course, I'd want the updated technology. So I was happy just to be back in the universe. But the improvements have made it a lot more fluid for me. I don't feel like I'm playing as clunky of an RPG as I am doing like an actual shooting match where, I actually have to think, how am I going to, get back and get a stim pack and then get back in the fight? And, not every fight has been, I walk up, use VAT, shoot him in the head 3 times, and then he's dead. There's actually had to be a little bit of tactical thought to it. The melee is, the way they did the melee is so much better. Did Fallout 3 even really do melee? I know they
you just had one swing the same way every single time.
Yeah, I mean, now when you walk up to somebody, you hit them, and if you hit them a couple times in a row, you hit them, and then you'll hit them with the butt, and then it'll kill them. And I think that's pretty cool because you can, plan it to where, if you see somebody that's not ready, you can shoot them once, run up, hit them melee a few times, and then they're down. The other things that I've really liked the crafting, even though I didn't think I would like it that much. And it is nice seeing there are the moments where visually it's like, oh, this is so much nicer. I'm enjoying looking at stuff around. It's not going to be like picturesque, knowing that it's a Bethesda game, but what they were able to accomplish in that big of a world has impressed me, and it has made me enjoy walking around and just like checking stuff out. Some of my cons. I already mentioned the lighting at night. I'm just not a big fan of it. The story so far, I'm actually getting into the story like now that I don't want to spoil anything, but now that I've met a person who's helping me move along the story, it's actually getting a little more interesting. But I was not invested in it. I mean, I didn't expect to be that much either, but they didn't disappoint there. It's the typical. You're thrown in this world and you have some mission to accomplish. In this one, it's finding your son, and there's no sense of urgency in that. Like, my son's missing, but I'm going to go help you find, some stuff to craft this, or I'm going to go find your cat that's off in the Commonwealth. So the story, maybe the story will get better as it goes on. I mean, I'm not far enough in to really speak to it. The other thing I was kind of disappointed about, so far, the music, like, there have been some great tracks. Like, if you liked the other music, some of the new tracks you'll like too. Mm-hmm. But then they played a lot of the tracks from Fallout 3, which is fine. But I feel like it's almost half and half at this point. Like, there's not nearly as many new songs as Fallout 3 introduced, which was kind of disappointing to hear. I mean, it's not disappointing because I do like the songs, but it's disappointing to, we were excited about, Joel and I were talking about, I can't wait to have all these new songs to look up afterwards, and there haven't really been that many. So,
all right.
Yeah, that's about it.
Dave?
Yeah, for me, I have been, like I said originally, just pleasantly surprised at how much of a improvement overall this has been to Fallout 3. This is possibly the best Bethesda game that I've ever played. I put a lot of hours into Skyrim, but my enjoyment of it did drop off near the end. That isn't happening with Fallout just yet, so I'm excited to see how much I really get into the story by the end of it, and how much I actually do play. I think that as far as pros go, the real-time lighting, it makes it feel like a modern game. Let's be honest. Fallout 3, even on launch day, did not feel like a current-gen game.
2008 felt like 2004.
Yeah,
2003.
Half-Life 2 looked far superior to Fallout 3. I mean, and that's apples and oranges, sure, but that's still a 4 years difference too. Half-Life 2 looked miles better than Fallout 3. So here, it at least looks current gen, and it does look very nice. I love the vistas and the world. The addition of crafting is fantastic, and the changes to combat alone, I think, give the gameplay value that Fallout 3 never had. Like you, James, I loved the virtual tourism in Fallout 3. The universe as a whole is so much fun to explore, just the crazy lore and the crazy post-apocalypse stuff that's also happened since then. But in 3, it was like, I'm getting through the combat to get to the exploration. Here,
right, and I get so annoyed when you have to go into a fight, because like, ugh.
It felt like you were a floating camera with like a stick arm gun, and everything just was floating and didn't really feel impactful. But in 4, the firefights can be really tense. I also like the sneaking. I have a little suppressed pipe action pistol that's so much fun. The sniping feels really good. The combat as a whole feels like an actual shooter, and it is very enjoyable. And that alone, I think, has... Oh man, it actually has given the game so much more value, where I'm not just playing for the exploration, which I knew I was going to love, but I'm actually enjoying the combat. That's so exciting.
Dave, there's something I wanted to add in yours, because I forgot to say it in mine, but you can talk about it. The radiation storm.
Oh, that happened to me immediately. Like, I left the vault, like, oh, the whole new world. Oh, it's getting dark. What is this?
I haven't had that happen at all yet.
It's freaky. Like, you're walking and you start hearing this like really weird sound. Like, you're like, what is that? It's like, and like the sky starts turning dark, and like there's like green lightning, and then all of a sudden you're taking radiation poisoning.
Each flash of lightning, like,
and it's like it shakes, everything shakes,
hurts you.
It's so cool.
It's a little intense. I'm like, oh crap, I got to get inside.
And James, one of my favorite touches for the radiation storms, I had Dogmeat as my companion, and I had the music turned off. I was just hiking through the woods, and I hadn't seen an enemy for a few minutes. And then I very slowly start hearing the wind pick up, just like starting to howl a bit. And you look up, and you actually see some like clouds coming in on the skybox. I look over at Dogmeat, and Dogmeat like crouches down, and he starts whining. Like, he heard the storm coming first. I was just like, such a cool touch right there. I was like, oh, Dogmeat, my buddy, you know what's gonna happen. And we like sheltered together in a cabin. But as far as cons go, I think that Bethesda is almost just coasting when it comes to the writing. None of the writing has hooked me at all so far. I'm enjoying it, but
except
like
the intro.
Yeah, I mean the intro was pretty good. There was good foreshadowing, but that was like more of an environment exploration thing.
Right.
Like lots of set pieces.
No, I meant the video that played beforehand.
Okay, yeah. The intro was glorious.
Yeah. The
But
rest
as far as the in-game writing and the questing goes, playing, I'm going to compare it just here briefly to The Witcher 3's writing. CDPR definitely raised the bar when it comes to writing, and where the side quests all tied back into the main story. And I haven't seen any of that in Fallout 4 just yet. They're all really fun stories in the world, and I am enjoying them. I'm just the writing really is no comparison. And I think if Bethesda started to catch up with some of the other, bigger RPG names out there in the writing department, the combination of that with the other elements that they've improved so much in Fallout 4, the Fallout 5 could be ridiculous. I think really that should be the area where they focus the most on is writing and the storylines.
Well, it's weird because the DLC in the other Fallout games had better writing than the main games. Like when you played Honest Hearts or any of the other DLCs, like they actually had like a story that was interesting. Well, even when you're exploring the Joel, what was that DLC with the
Sierra Madre? Which one?
The one where you're like in the canyons and stuff with all the different Indian settlements.
The Burning Man or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was actually kind of interesting. Way more interesting than the actual game.
I think when I was talking with Dave about this as well, I think open world games are not the greatest games for telling a very good cohesive story, because you are allowed, like it's hard to fault Fallout going, oh, it's not a great story, I crafted for 8 hours and helped some other person down a well. I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm like, so that means do you want the game to force you to only do the main story? Now, sometimes in a way, I kind of wish it did, just because like it's so overwhelming. Like all open world games for me, are a little bit overwhelming, because I'm like, when I play Witcher 3, I'm almost nervous to get a quest, because I'm like, it's going to be 30 minutes of dialogue. Now, I would say that not all the dialogue in Witcher 3 is amazing, especially merchants and things like that. It's kind of silly and cheesy, but I think all the main characters in Witcher 3 have phenomenal, well done writing and dialogue. But it's like, I think it is a little apples and oranges for what the game is, because Fallout is kind of a you can do anything type of game. But when I've gotten to a point in the story now that I'm like, this is really fascinating. This is connecting to something where the game starts.
Yeah, so, I'm actually getting to the point where I'm like, oh, this is actually getting a little more interesting. But
I hope I get there.
But but I compare Bethesda to like BioWare, who does story much better, and it's not just main quest, it's side quest. How interesting are the side quests that you're going to get involved in? A lot of things in Bethesda games are go here, do this. You basically are checking off to the next point. Whereas, think Knights of the Old Republic or Mass Effect, when you're doing something for a side quest, it's just like this little side drama, and it's kind of cool. So I think I don't think it's a limitation necessarily of open world, because technically Mass Effect is open world, even though it's a lot more linear. Dragon Age is more linear, even though I wouldn't say it's as good of a game, but the side quests were still interesting in the way they would do the writing for it. So I think it's just a studio thing. I think, the studios have their strength. BioWare does fantastic with their, the stories and stuff.
Bethesda does worlds.
Yeah, you don't really get the exploration as much as you do with something like Bethesda.
But I actually had one more comparison to make outside of The Witcher 3 regarding just overall story and writing, and that's to Fallout New Vegas.
Rocket League.
Dude, the Rocket League lore, it goes deep. But Fallout New Vegas, which was done by Obsidian, that was the last Fallout that I played. I obviously played it after 3, and I enjoyed it a lot more than 3 because of the story. And it was the same engine, an earlier branch in it, same kind of world, but the writing was so much better. The characters were better. The world was more convincing. And so when I hold Fallout 4's overall story to both The Witcher 3 and just Fallout New Vegas, I don't think it's quite there, which that matters a lot to me in an RPG. The story and the characters really do mean a lot. I would wait a little bit more for you, Dave, just because I know you haven't played far at all.
Dave,
because the main game is apparently a 40-hour campaign,
Sure.
So,
but I'm also not in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Have you been to Diamond City yet?
I've been I've been there for a while. Yeah.
Have you gone after like the detective or anything?
That's right where I am now, actually. Yeah.
Okay, so I've played half the hours you have, and I'm a little farther in the story than you are.
I also,
Well, I mean, it sounds like you're going through the main story, like, you know, right after the next quest. So that's cool.
and comparing the maps with Joel, I did some exploring up in the Northeast that some of you guys haven't done yet too.
Yeah, I haven't been up there at all.
But yeah, I think overall, it's a huge improvement compared to the previous Fallout, and a solid, like, I say like 8.99 for me. I tend to be a little conservative for like those 9.0 scores, and me saying that it's an 8.9 for me doesn't mean that it's like not a good game. To me, like an 8.9, that's a fantastic game. That's like, you don't like RPGs? Well, hey, try Fallout 4 though. It's a really good game. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it quite deserves Game of the Year, just because this year has been insane for good games.
Yeah. I'll just kind of cap it off there. I agree with most of the stuff you guys have said. You said really all the cons, I think. The biggest weaknesses for me is the story's just not compelling or interesting, but you guys say it picks up a lot more. So I'm definitely going to keep playing it, but I don't know if this is the type of game where I will finish the story unless it really grabs me. I think interesting quest design is not one of Bethesda's strong suits. I think the world and the exploring is definitely where they're the best, and that's what I enjoy the most. That's what I enjoyed the most in Oblivion and Skyrim too. So I think that's probably where I'll spend most of my time, and I'll, depending on how the main story goes, I may finish it, I may not, but I am really enjoying the world. I hope to get some of the technical issues fixed so I don't lose all my progress or something, but other than that, I'm enjoying the world, and the little problems have not stopped me from wanting to keep playing when I can. So
can I ask one question about the levels of quests, because you guys have brought that up a few times, and I'm curious about this because, okay, I've played a crap ton of The Witcher 3 now. I have literally probably 160 hours in the game now, so I've put my effort in there. I love the game, all right? Mm-hmm. People say, the quests are really, really good. I think the stories of the quests are really good, but for me, the gameplay of the quests, most of the time you don't really do much. You don't like when you think of I guess action moments of quests. There's not a lot of action moments, a lot of quests. Some there a good amount, some there's not. Sometimes you see it in a cutscene or whatever. Now what has been nice is even from playing Gwent with Dave and learning, because I'll ask him questions like, who is he referring to? Who is this guy or that appeared, as a wraith or stuff. I've now enjoyed more of the story and I understand it more, so the quests are more interesting to me because I guess I know a little bit more of what's going on. But for actual gameplay quests, I don't think they're really any different than Fallout's. Like, you go over here, you search for 6 items, Geralt talks a little bit, you go into another house and do it. Now, I don't think it's bad, but I'm not seeing any groundbreaking stuff other than the story. I like the story.
But you've been talking so much. Yeah. No, that's fine.
No, but
are you sure? Because it is your turn. It's your turn.
I'm getting to a point.
Oh, okay.
And basically, I was going to say, I think there is a little of a difference. Obviously, I mean, everyone has different opinions on what they like, right? But for me, I like, especially, and this is a big reason why I like Dark Souls. Is in Dark Souls, the lore is kind of hidden. Like you have to kind of search it out. It's not like you don't watch a cutscene. You play you're actively playing the game. And when I say playing the game, for me, it's fighting and killing stuff and running over here and jumping over stuff, right? So I'm curious on your guys' perspective. I think you have to wait a little bit different. Going, Witcher has really good quests because you do this and this, but the story throughout the whole quest is really good, cohesive, and everything else. I like a good mix of both, where I've enjoyed Fallouts where it's like, hey, somebody has a radio broadcast show, go help them out over here, and I do, and then you end up getting a cape or you get a little holotape or something like that, and you listen to it, and then something else, like when I went to the back alley and I got jumped by a couple people. That's happened in Witcher as well.
Best day ever.
Yeah, that happens in Witcher as well.
That's like sometimes for you, Joel.
But then it just goes into a cutscene, and you actually sometimes don't even fight. For me, I like the mixture of give me a little bit of dialogue, but then let me shoot my gun too and do something, like actually press buttons to do something. So,
okay.
I'm gonna chime in first because I'm older. So
okay,
you might die sooner.
I made notes so I can go last.
Oh, Dave. Yeah, I've played so many different types of RPGs. Like from the crappy ones like Two Worlds and the Risen series, and to, to something a little bit more meaty like the Mass Effects and the Kings of Amalur, even Fable. Fable by far has like the least invested questing system, but it's still, at least 2 and 1 were fun. But I get what you're saying, Joel. Like, some of the side quests are use your Witcher sense, follow the the foot trails, investigate, go report, and that's it.
And there's some absolutely incredible ones,
right?
But everyone keeps on going, Bloody Baron quest is amazing. I was like, the story is pretty interesting, but gameplay wise, I'm like, all you did was search for this, search for that, and then talk with someone in a bog, then talk with someone in a bog, and then towards the end, the very end of it, usually something will pop out and you'll have a cool battle and everything. But it's mostly running to here, running to here. It is very much the same, but I think the thing that they do so well is the story, where in Fallout, you might be doing a lot of running, but the story's not really great. But I still enjoy like some of the actions. I guess maybe for me, I like a little bit more of the gameplay part, if I was to say, than most people.
I would say the difference though between something like Witcher 3, even like Mass Effect compared to Fallout is, for me, I'm more invested in the main character in those games than I am Fallout. Fallout, I'm more invested in the world in general, like just seeing stuff. The hours that I've played in Witcher, I played a lot more Witcher 1 than I've played Witcher 3, but I'm taking on that persona when I'm doing those quests felt more exciting because I'm not making choices based on, I'm always the paragon, in these type of quests. I'm like, well, Witchers always take money for contracts. Witchers always do this. So I try to be Geralt. And the same thing with Mass Effect. If I'm going to be Commander Shepard, I take on that persona. And that's what I'm getting out of these side quests. Not necessarily, I'm going to go run and do something really complicated. It's going to be fun. I get to see how my character reacts in a side quest type thing. And I think that's one of the big parts of, the side questing and something like Witcher is that you get to be the badass Geralt. And, these situations, you get to hear how he's going to react.
Yeah.
I think it's just different. Honestly.
And I'm so proud of them for literally sticking to their guns, because there's some quests where I'm like, man, no game would ever do this. I wish I could remember some of the things that happened in it. I'm like, wow, like only a company like this or Valve, could do something like it's in a game and be like, heck with this, we're doing this, like, and I'm not saying some like gratuitous part or something like that. I'm talking about like just the way they did a quest where it's like, wait, I didn't even actually do anything, but I'm like, that was pretty cool. That was very unique and different. So I guess I'm just more of just saying, because like for Fallout, for me, I don't take it as serious as like this is a real world. I enjoy the slapstickiness of it, of the game, where it's kind of like, because you're gonna get to a part where you literally don a cape and pretend you're a radio show thing, and you go around talking to people like, hey there, I'll stop you in the name of the law, and I'm like, my kid's over there like, help me, and I'm just like, no, I'm gonna do this. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So it's like, it's hard. I go, how could you make a open world game where you can kind of do all that? Because where The Witcher is 100% dedicated to Geralt as who he is, it doesn't deviate. You can't go, I'm gonna be out, you can't do that. Like, there's only so many.
That's not technically true, but
you can't really do anything you want in Witcher. You know what I mean? You really can't. You can't be kind of a crazy, goofy character. You're gonna always kind of be kind of Geralt, which is it's not a dig. I'm just saying that game is so really well crafted around that world and it being immersive that way. Where Fallout, I think, is a little bit more to like play your style. You want to go in with a bat with a teddy bear costume.
I understand, but you've been explaining your point for like 10 minutes. I would like to. I'd like to chip in. I think it's a little bit. I think it's a little bit of an oversimplification to say in The Witcher you just go here and then you just fight people and then you go here and look at stuff. That's true, but you can boil any game down to that. If you really want to, if you strip out enough of the stuff that makes the game unique, you can boil it all down to, in this game you just shoot stuff in a hallway for 7 hours. Call of Duty. Like, any game can be boiled down a ton till it sounds really boring if you want to. So the difference for me with The Witcher, first of all, I agree with you. The stuff you're physically doing is not that much different. But I'm okay with that because the story and the world, to me, are magnitudes better. Where, like you guys said, in Fallout, you're playing as Joe McBlow. Like you kind of are supposed to take on the persona, do whatever you want. Whereas in The Witcher, you were playing as Geralt, someone with a backstory and lore and everything else. And then the story and the interactions with the characters around it feel a lot more real. See, the thing in Fallout is I feel like I'm doing the same stuff I do in any other quest, and I don't care about the story because it's not, there are the standout quests that are kind of fun and cool and different, but overall it's like a mixture of the same gameplay I've been doing since Oblivion, more or less, like it even feels the same, and a story I don't really care about right now. Whereas in The Witcher, I did enjoy the swordplay, but it's not really any different than Shadow of Mordor, and it does, or Batman even. Like you fight similar to you do in the Arkham Knight games, and the whole detective system is ripped right out of Arkham Knight. It is, yeah. But so you can easily say like, oh, well, this is the same thing I've been doing there, which is true, but I think it's a really polished version of it, which is nice. But the big thing for me is the story and the world is so much better that it's the same thing with GTA. You're doing the same stuff over and over again, but the world is so well thought out that it's a little bit different every time. You see new stuff, you encounter new things. Whereas in Fallout, that can happen too, but I feel like the physical world is a lot more important to them than the characters and the people that live in it. There aren't that many NPCs in Fallout. Yeah, there aren't very many NPCs. There aren't many organic feeling interactions. Everything feels incredibly scripted and formulaic when it comes to how you interact with people. So that's why I think the quests are a lot better in The Witcher 3 than most RPGs, is because most RPGs, and I'm basically all the ones I've played except like Mass Effect and Witcher, feel very formulaic, and Mass Effect and Witcher break out of it, not because the gameplay is that much different, because it's not, but because the story tying it together is so much better.
I think and most of the BioWare games are like that, to where they've really nailed the in between of giving you freedom to do side quests and explore a little bit, and keeping everything very story based.
I agree. I feel like the first Dragon Age it just moved too slowly.
Dragon Age was kind of it was okay. It was
was a drag.
They tried to go a little bit like hardcore, I think, in like they're making their first big fantasy RPG in a while or something, and I think the game could have scaled back a little bit, which apparently is the case of Dragon Age 2. It's way too small, and people don't like how much they simplified stuff. So I guess there's probably a middle ground. But
yeah, I don't think Dragon Age was a good example of like a BioWare.
It's not, but I think Mass Effect 2,
But if you played Knights of the Old Republic when it was
good,
actually playable for you, it would have been a completely different experience, especially for the time. Sure. Like it was just, you were so much more invested.
Is I started it like 4 times. I borrowed a friend's Xbox and started it and didn't continue.
I mean, I'd like to go on a record to say that, I absolutely agree that Witcher
everything 3, we do is on record, Joel.
While we're on live.
I absolutely agree that Witcher 3 has, leagues better story so far, better world. Everything is so damn cohesive in that game, and that's amazing. It was hard for me to get in early because it is the same like Game of Thrones. I listened to the book. It's like, and within like 2 pages, you hear 50,000 names from old and few future. So for me, it was very overwhelming. Like, okay,
Game of Thrones is definitely worse than anything else when it comes to that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
an 1,100-page book.
Game,
1 of 5.
I'm just saying, for me, as the start of a game, because since I didn't really I enjoyed 1 quite a bit, but 2 I didn't like at all. But this one, it was overwhelming. Like, man, what the heck is going on? I didn't really understand the story. I could have used one of those like awesome explosive couple hour start action set pieces in the start that kind of like goes, this is the bad guy and this is what's going on, where I kind of got fused. But anyways, after playing it now for 150 hours, I do kind of know, I have a huge grasp of what's going on, and I can, if I played it again from the start, I'd go, oh, now I know what's going on. But
I will say that I think the 2 are different enough where you can still enjoy both, and you don't really have to compare the 2. Like because the reason I say that is when I played Fallout 3, I just played it nonstop, and the experience, when I finished everything, the experience was done. I couldn't go back and relive it. I couldn't, erase my memory and play it again. So what I'm trying to do with this one is not like barrel through find every single thing. I'm trying to space out a little bit. So I actually took a break from playing Fallout the other day. I played Witcher for a few hours, and it didn't feel like I was just like, oh man, another RPG. It was such a different experience where I could enjoy both in the same day, and they didn't feel like they were competing for my attention. Like I could I could
Witcher's
really
such a
enjoy playing
relaxing
Fallout,
game to play.
and then I could really enjoy playing Witcher, and they gave me something completely different. I enjoyed being Geralt. I enjoyed the combat, and so.
So, to answer Joel's original discussion, I made a couple notes. The side quests, and I'm going to compare it to, again, both The Witcher 3 and Fallout New Vegas. The biggest difference for me isn't necessarily in the mechanics, because like you said, there's like maybe 10 or 12 different mechanics for most side quests and contracts in general. The difference is that the choices that you make during those side quests and the people that you make, people that you make, that's the crafting. The people that you meet and the choices that you make are never black and white in The Witcher 3, and most of the time not in New Vegas. Whereas in Fallout 4, no character and no quest has surprised me. There's been no gray area. I've heard the ending has some of that, but every character I've met, when I met the bitter survivor who lost a family member, she's been bitter and angry the whole time and has never changed and never surprised me.
But you barely scratched the surface of that game.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I've gotten to a few quests already where I've struggled for about 5 minutes to choose what I wanted to choose.
You guys keep saying that, but
I'm not even saying that from perspective. I mean, when you look at the overall story potential from what they showed in the trailers and stuff about the struggle of, whether we accept, synthetic beings as, equals or not, I imagine that's going to play a lot more deeply later in the game, to where I guess you would imagine you do kind of have to make choices of, do you support humanity or do you become all-encompassing? So, I mean, this early in the game, nothing has really even happened at this point.
Yeah. But at the same time, let's be generous, and I'll say that I'm like 10 hours into the story of my 35 hours. I've met a lot of characters. I've done quite a few side quests now. And while I've enjoyed the experience, like the adventure, meeting the new people, going to the places, seeing new things, getting the loot, I love all of it. None of it has been a surprise. And it's all been very black and white and very, very as I expected. Whereas in The Witcher 3, constantly, the choices that I made were always very gray, and a lot of times there is no correct choice. And man, some of the side quests that you haven't done yet, where the wolf and the cat play is one of the DLC quests that was added that I just did like last month, and dude, I still like look back on that quest and I'm like, man, I don't know if I made the right decision at the end. It's really like, it makes you really think.
Yeah, I'm excited to try some of those. Try some of those.
For The Witcher 3 and to a lesser extent Fallout New Vegas, the trope isn't that everything's in black and white. The trope is almost that nothing's in black and white. Like there's always something more to it.
I think New Vegas, though, probably has more of a, you can completely change the rest of the game moment.
Yeah. It has been more of that.
Than
but
pretty much any game.
To me, the ambiguity and the ability for it to mix it up during the quest really does mean a lot to me in an RPG. And I just haven't seen that in Fallout 4 yet.
All right. It's now time to move on. We'll doubtless be talking about Fallout 4 more in the coming months, years, etc.
Years upon glorious years.
But now we are going to quickly talk about a little bit of news.
News time.
Oh, wait, I got to show off my shirt here.
Oh, yes. We'll talk more about Fallout 4 merchandise probably on a future podcast, but James got an excellent shirt and a cool looking wallet. Now, is it a good wallet or is it just a Fallout wallet?
It's a good wallet.
Is that embossed, James, on the wallet?
What's that?
Bring that close again.
Hold on, let me take some personal stuff out of here.
Why don't you flip it open? Let us see.
Give me a rotate on the card.
I thought I would totally have forgotten that. Like, hey guys,
We know, Joel.
Here's my address, everybody.
yes, bitch.
So yeah, here's the.
Okay. All right.
You can see it.
Looks
That
pretty
is nice.
Open it inside. It's got. I don't know if you can
Ooh,
see it,
ooh,
Fallout
all right.
in there.
That's cool.
It's got a nice room. It's actually pretty well made. It's got the. If I want to be midlife crisis, I can do the little chain thing there, but I'm not going to do that.
Please never do that.
I mean, this is midlife crisis enough, but
Yeah.
it's a
I
good wallet.
can never buy like a gimmick. I don't mean gimmick in a bad way, but you know what I mean, like a branded wallet or something. I can't do that. I'm only
I have
like
the Pip-Boy
3
Collector's
years.
Edition.
I'm only 3 years into the 10-year break-in period on my wallet, so
I buy wallets every.
I
6
used
months.
to, and then I got one really nice one, and it'll probably be with me till I die.
Yeah, I'm not like that.
I put my phone.
New shoes every year.
I put my phone
For dress shoes.
inside the Pip-Boy that I got with the collector's edition, and I put it on YouTube, and I found the the Galaxy News radio, and it actually has the video, and it was playing ink spots from the device, and I was like, this is pretty cool.
I really want to go back to that place that we went on the beach trip and we listened to the Fallout music. I really want you to actually wear it on your wrist and us walk back through there. Preferably when it's a little cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
One more thing I wanted to mention.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can read the notes and you can't.
I can read them. I was choosing to move on for time's sake.
Well, one of the things I've looked in so many different targets for the Nuka-Cola Quantum, like the day it came out, and apparently Targets pretty much let their employees buy it before it even opened.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And so, you know, pretty much nobody's been able to buy it. Now you're seeing them on eBay for like $1,000. It's ridiculous.
James, it was a limited run. This is like one of the most anticipated games in years, and they're like, "Oh, we'll do 100,000 bottles globally. That'll be fine." Like,
I think they wanted it to be a collector's item. I think that was the goal.
But they made it sound like they were gonna like stock it, like drink the Fallout 4 soda, because like Mountain Dew, Call of Duty Mountain Dew, that runs for months. Like,
right.
This was a weird decision.
I think I read that they're planning on doing a more releasing, but it's kind of a douchey thing to. People are so douchey. Like, get it and enjoy it, or just don't get it. You don't get it, put it on eBay so you can exploit.
The hoarders that just go and like wipe an entire shelf clean. It's like, hey, I was hoping to get cereal too. Well, not today.
I've got coupons to get them all free, so I'm going to take all of them.
The CVS bucks. I spent $80, but I got $2 back.
Actually,
I saved so much.
I think the extreme couponing thing, it is easy to make fun of those people, but my sister got really nerdy about it. I think she had like one pregnancy. She just had a lot of time sitting or something, and like she just got really into it. And I will go to her house and there's like 35 things of pasta on a shelf. I'm like, where'd those come from? She's like, well, I was buying this, then a coupon for this, coupon for this, coupon for this. I got $200 worth of food for $11. I was like, oh, all right.
I'm not going to use any of it, but...
Well, no, she will, though. She will, though. Like, she's smart enough about that. But there's actually, like, Facebook groups of people with, like, they'll swap the random stuff they did not need that they got in bulk, and they'll just swap with each other. Anyway, we're definitely moving on now.
I like the people that do it and then give it to, like homeless shelters and stuff like that.
Food pantries.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a completely different...
we're moving on. Officially done with Fallout for tonight.
No, we're not.
Until we get to what are you playing this week.
Okay, I'm waiting for James just like raise slowly into frame with the t-shirt.
Joel, can you lift your mic stand just a little bit? By the way,
I did actually. I lifted
I'm
quite a
ready.
bit.
Oh, okay. You moved it back to that position. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry,
I did.
I wasn't sure. Okay, so
He couldn't stand the robot standing in his peripheral.
Just reach it in there.
Steam sales have long time worked off of a thing where there's games that are on sale for like they'll have 50% off an entire publisher's catalog, or it'll be 75% off this game for the next 24 hours, and then that deal will go away. But a lot of those games come back for later sales closer to the end of the Steam sale, or they go on a flash sale where they'll be like 90% off or 80% off or like more of a discount. And a lot of people will wait till the last day or two or wait till something's on a flash sale to buy it. And sometimes people miss deals because they don't know if something's going to be on sale later and they wait too long. Well, Steam has released a statement today. They are going to be changing the way they do that in the future, starting for like their next sale, which presumably is within the next month. They will still be highlighting games on the front page for 24 to 48 hour spans, but they're now only doing one discount. So when you see a sale price on a Steam sale, you know that game is going to be that price as long as it's on the sale. It may go back to regular price and may move off the sale, but it will not be cheaper than that price. That's the best price you're going to see during this sale. And I think, like James said, that is an awesome, awesome thing. It's kind of one of those things.
That makes a lot of sense because it was always like,
well, yeah. So wait and see if it goes on a flash sale because it might be cheaper. I hate that.
Yeah.
It does.
Buying games work.
It's smart from a business perspective, though. It creates hype. People check back in, like during a sale. That's the only time I've ever used the Steam app on my phone. I check in Like every
4
time the
hours,
sales,
right?
yeah,
8
I
hours,
just open
8
it up
hours.
and refresh it. Like, oh, all right, nothing I want here. That's fine. But like, it is smart because I look at Steam way more during those sales than any other time. So they know what they're doing, but I think they've just received enough requests to change it that they're.
It's also-
I mean, if you missed some sales because people didn't buy it and then waited for it and then it didn't go back on sale, you know, you could easily make it back up. If people buy with more confidence, they're probably more likely to. All right, I know I'm going to get this game today, so I'll just go ahead and buy it instead of wait till the last day and see.
It's also
type
helpful for the
thing.
people like me or people out there like me who are like, oh wow, the game's $7. No, Joel, don't buy it now. Wait for a flash sale. Wait for a flash. I'm like, but I got $10 now. It's worth $10. No, wait for the flash sale. Shut up. I want to buy my game for $10.
All right,
Filthy casual.
Joel, what new Rocket League DLC is coming out?
Wasteland Rocket League DLC. So I think it's 2 free new maps. All maps are free because they don't want to screw up the whole community. So, you know, certain people are playing on certain maps.
I love when you say maps. It's like
Yeah, arenas, I guess. Yeah.
the goal's here and the goal's here.
But they're going to have different boost rocket positions and things like that. But you can get two cars that are like, you know, Bandit, Mad Max like. So it looks really cool.
Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders. So
That sounds kind of
that's
awesome,
cool.
actually.
Yeah, it's
that
free.
might be the
Like,
first
there's a
one that
lot.
actually.
That comes out in December, which also comes like the winter edition where you can play hockey on ice and stuff. And then like there's a ton of stuff coming out.
Are they going
for
to change the physics for that
yeah.
to make it? Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
All right, James, what do you got?
I'm just going to mention that they're actually releasing the Chromebit, and I think they mentioned it like way earlier this year. Asus and Google. Basically, it's a $85 plug it into your TV HDMI slot, and it becomes a computer, or you can plug it into a monitor.
And we've seen other ones of these, but this is the
Right.
They all run Windows. This is the first one running Chrome OS, right?
This is the first one running Chrome OS, and it's cheaper. Like the Intel ones are like $120 on sale, I think. But yeah, their main goal is to hit like education, signage, things like that. But I think it's cheap enough to where if you want to have another computer in the house, say you want to set up a computer for a kid and you have an extra monitor, I mean that's a pretty cheap investment. Or you could really make a nice little streaming setup with an $85 Wi-Fi dongle essentially. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, it may end up being just crap, but it is interesting that it's the step into the future of being able to really miniaturize computers enough to where you can take it with you in your pocket and it not be like your phone, but you can hook it up to a big TV and have everything with you. I mean, it's not that much built-in storage, but with cloud storage, that doesn't even matter.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's now mail time.
Mail time.
You can be a part of the show by writing into casualshenanigans@gmail.com, just like Team Bondar did once again.
Oh,
Now, this is not a group email. This is directed at one of us
I'm
in
getting
particular.
sweaty in here. My legs are literally dripping with sweat. This is
I don't want to hear about this. This is a personal issue. All right. Dear Shenana James. Yes. I understand you're frustrated with the favorite Shenana guy rankings. You've said, I've laughed at her jokes. I think smiled at my jokes is more accurate. I notice you're not exactly a belly laugher. I'm sure you're laughing on the inside every time, though. Perhaps
I'm
after
working the belly off, so
Perhaps after a podcast, you curl into the fetal position and laugh hysterically to make up for all the jokes. You said, I pled my case. Actually, you made a campaign promise to me that you didn't keep. In fact, I suspect you don't even remember your campaign promise. You said, I read her script. I noticed you didn't say you enjoyed my script. You weren't in the Rocket League tournament either. These are all ways you're failing to achieve favorite Shenanigans. With minimal effort, you can win this thing. Dave doesn't care about the rankings. Joel only cares if he's in last place, and Jeremiah clearly doesn't stand a chance of winning. It's yours for the taking. Good luck. P.S. I like when you get that I'm about to say something smart-assy look on your face, but you almost never speak in these instances. It leaves me
it's
wondering...
always there.
It leaves me wondering what's going on in that brain of yours. I feel like you're hoarding some really good jokes in there. Don't be a hoarder.
Well, let's see. I suck at Rocket League. That's why I'm not in the tournament.
Oh, I was in the tournament. Don't use that as an excuse.
I've played with you. You look way better on the field.
I am better than you. That's true, and that should terrify everybody.
I mean, yeah. Let's see. What's my campaign promise that I didn't? I did read it. I didn't. My campaign promise was not that I was going to.
I'm not. I'm just.
I didn't say
I pass it along.
Anything like it. I did it, Joel. We laughed reading it. Did we not laugh reading it, Joel?
We did.
Actually said everything verbatim on that script.
I enjoyed it because it was really crappy. And it was the worst one. And I hate every time they write in because it's some goofball waste of time. Thank you, Thorndar.
Anybody wants help elevate me?
I will agree. James is usually sitting on some pretty good jokes, but James has learned about discretion, and sometimes just because you can burn the whole forest down doesn't mean you have to. Rest assured, if James is sitting on a joke, it's probably because it's too inappropriate or too mean, and he doesn't feel like just dropping it on
It
everybody.
hits too close to home.
I mean, the stuff that does come out on the podcast, if that's the unfiltered or the filtered version, just wait to see the unfiltered version.
Yeah.
I'll make you cry in your sleep.
Moving on.
I'm dreaming. I'm crying while I'm dreaming, and I wake up, I'm still crying.
Oh my gosh. All right.
I did
Forrest,
accept that PSN request, so
I accepted it too, and then she had to go chat my wife up while she's playing Lego games on her lunch break. Like, what's up with that?
I mean, I'm just saying I don't have to accept those things.
I know we get so many guys, don't we?
I
Alright.
checked.
I turned.
Nothing. Literally nothing. Oh.
Okay. Forrest also wrote in and said, "Hey guys, I just want to take a minute to talk about how much I love the Steam controller. I have really shaky hands, so a keyboard and mouse has always been a struggle for me. I line up that perfect headshot, and then I have a hand trimmer just before I fire and miss completely. It's very sad. But I don't like using an Xbox controller either because I can't get the control I want off of it. Having the trackpads on the Steam controller has revolutionized gaming for me. Having the right trackpad function as a mouse is great, and though it took some getting used to, the form factor is great for my hands. My only complaint would be that the ABXY buttons are too far from my hand, making games like Rocket League difficult without a huge binding change. Anyway,
It's
that's
real
all I
weird.
have to say. I love your show, and I'm excited to hear what everyone thinks of Fallout 4. I keep getting killed by exploding cars and landmines." That actually is
Yes.
really interesting. I had not thought of that this is a completely different control scheme, that there might be certain segments of the population where this is the perfect thing they've been waiting for. Do you still like yours, James? Have you played any more?
I
with it?
haven't even had a chance to play it
Because of
much.
Fallout?
Well, no, just life.
Bring it with
Doing
you.
work. I will, actually. But I get that. Although I feel like I was shakier playing first-person shooters, like playing Borderlands. Just my thumb resting on there, I could feel it like jittering around a little bit. But I do get that. But the button placement is really weird.
I'm curious to try it out then, because I think the button placement on all controllers is pretty bad. Like
Well, I
none
mean,
of them.
If you look at the PS3 controller, imagine a little bit even further in is where you have your analog stick and then your button.
Right.
So you're used to having your hand up here, whether it be Xbox 360, Xbox One, or PS4, PS3 controllers. So imagine having the all the way down here for your buttons. It's really different. I mean,
Well, that's the thing is I
my
don't
daughter
know.
had a hard time playing it because it was so far in from the side that she had a harder time reaching the buttons and the analog stick at the same time.
I'm curious to try it because actually Joel and I were talking about this the other night while we were playing Halo before he bought a second PS4 and traded his Xbox in without telling his friend who was playing through the Halo 4 campaign. But
Glad that didn't make it to the podcast.
no, it's not that big a deal. Joel had good reasons. He wants to play with his wife. That's fine. But
Actually, I want to play with Eric for Dark Souls.
all right,
But also play with my wife.
I was come on, man. I felt bad for throwing you into the bus. I was trying to help you out there. Okay, but we were talking about this the other night. When I hold a controller, do you see where my thumbs are? I don't know if you can see in relation to the thumbstick. Do you guys put the tips of your thumbs on thumbsticks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the thumbs.
You can make fun if my hands are big. I'm curious if anyone else does this. My thumbs touch in the middle when I'm using the PlayStation controllers because actually there's
didn't know about that.
They overlap about that much because my
Wow.
hands. Well, yeah, like everything.
Whoa!
Holy shit!
Where did the controller go?
with the NPC reaction from Witcher.
So
Black hole.
So what I'm wondering is maybe the Steam controller will feel really good for me because I can use the other thumbstick like with the other hand comfortably.
Now let me
Like,
see how you hold it. Hold it up like sideways. Just do one hand.
Okay.
Because I do it at such an angle. I mean, I guess your
can't see
fingers
it.
would still meet, but
Can you see where? I guess you can see where the stick is now.
camera.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold it pretty much at an angle. Is yours a little bit more?
Mine's between my knuckles. Between
I hold
the,
it just like this. I mean, like, tip my thumb right on top.
But see, if I do that, it feels like
and wiggle it around.
it feels like so bad. If I can't even hold on to the controller.
Jeremiah,
that
you know
way.
what you should look at? You should. Have you seen those analog stick
The
extensions?
extensions. That's the thing. I think the PS4 ones are already too tall. That's actually my least favorite thing about the controller. I like the controller, but I feel like the sticks are big and wiggly. I wish they
Yeah.
actually moved less. And if I made them longer, I think I would feel like it was so much worse.
Jeremiah,
Now,
there's a way to install the Xbox One's thumbsticks onto it. If you figure out a safe way to do it, because I'm just not very savvy at doing that, if you, I would say go for it, and I will do it too. Because
Okay.
I love the Xbox One thumbsticks. Way better.
I'm just demonstrating also like I can use the D-pad with the other hand.
Oh my
like
gosh.
I can reach actually most of the face buttons with my left hand on an Xbox controller. It's not we make jokes about me being big, and that's
can't do
fine.
it.
I can use the right
But
one.
I can't do
I'm
it.
wondering. That's what I'm wondering about the Steam controller. A lot of people's complaints seem to be how it's sized weird for people's hands. I'm wondering maybe I'll pick it up and go, oh, this is wonderful. So I'm
My
curious to see.
people.
Oh, James is going to get something. But yeah, I don't know. I think I've just gotten used to the Xbox 360 controller, and that's why that feels still pretty comfortable. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we gotta just wait before we move on to the next bit of mail. This might be our longest podcast ever.
No, we're at 2 hours and 5 minutes. It's not the longest yet.
Well, I mean, we're getting top 10 material right here.
Yeah, we're getting top 10. Yeah.
Okay. All right, James, what do you got?
I got the controller,
Okay. All right. I see.
and so you can see it's if you compare it to this.
Ooh.
I mean, look where the
I
buttons
actually,
are.
Oh,
the
wow.
buttons might be too close to me. The face buttons might be too close, and I might. Can you put your right hand on it and show where your thumb swivels to? Okay.
So when you're doing the buttons, it's all the way down here. So
Okay.
instead of doing
Huh.
like this, like you're almost going to like a.
Yeah,
your
I'll
angle.
see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. It seems like they could. Well, if that was me, I would have moved the buttons up to where the Steam logo is and moved the Steam button down to there. But I don't know if that's.
Well, it's just different because when the times that you're using this, it does feel good there. But this is the saving grace of the controller. These back buttons.
Right. Cool. All right. Last bit of mail is from Michael, and he says, "Hey guys, I'm planning on building my mom and stepdad a new computer for Christmas since theirs died and they don't have one at the moment. I don't want to spend too much on it though. I've made a list on PC Part Picker, and I want you to take a look at it and see if you can make any improvements while staying around the price range. His price range of his list was about $320. My mom and stepdad aren't gamers at all. They will mostly use it for Facebook and just normal internet stuff. So, Michael, I'm not going to read your list. I'm going to save you some time. Don't do that build.
Get an all-in-one.
Actually, I'm not going to recommend an all-in-one. His build is $320. For $340, he can buy from Amazon a brand new Asus desktop with a Core i3, 8 gigs of RAM, a 1 terabyte hard drive, Windows 10, a keyboard and a mouse, wireless AC, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth. All of that for $340.
But then he still has
buy
to buy
it.
a monitor.
No, they have a monitor and everything. He's just replacing a dead tower. So,
Gotcha.
I mean, buy that. And I've saved it. I'm going to be emailing you this link. But that is, yours is a little bit slower than this one. It's not like this one is so much faster, but it's completely assembled. You can take it out of the box, hand it to them, and it includes the OS key with it. Maybe they have an OS key off their old one you can reuse or something, but like this is good to go right out of the box on Christmas morning. So if it were me, I would spend $20 extra. Absolutely buy that desktop. If they were gamers, see, it's a little bit different because most cheap desktops are not built to game on. If you were a gamer, I would still say buy this desktop, put in a $100 graphics card into it, you're set. But yeah, in your case, you don't need to build one. If you want to build one, email us back and we'll talk about your list. But I highly recommend you buy one.
I mean, if it's just for his parents and he's not going to go over there and game and they're not going to do anything that involves anything. I have no problems recommending an all-in-one.
All-in-ones are fine.
It's a lot cleaner. If they do have any issues that, if there's some kind of warranty on something, it's all covered, as opposed to them having to disconnect everything. I don't see a reason why, for the average computer user that doesn't do anything of any robustness, to not have an all-in-one.
Unless you already have like the monitor and everything. Like in this case, you'd have to spend more to get an all-in-one.
What
that had
quality
the same
monitor is it?
I don't know.
It could be
it might be a CRT
4x3,
or something.
it could be a CRT, any number of things.
Although that same Asus has a deal, I think for an Acer monitor that comes with it, or no, it's probably an Asus monitor, but a nice like a 22-inch monitor, and it brings the total up to $474. So like, if you can get a better all-in-one for that price, awesome. But most of the good all-in-ones I've seen, they don't really get good till about $600. Gets to the point where I'd want one. But I do like the form factor. I know. But I'm saying, I do like the form factor if you're buying one for a mom or a grandma, or, parents who don't game, something like that. I think they're pretty good computers. You
could also consider doing a laptop that does the tablet disconnecting. I mean, I think it doesn't sound like initially that's what you're asking for, but I could see that being something that would really get used by someone that does want to check Facebook. Maybe they want to go sit on the couch with it, just the tablet part. That's just I would say that's something to think about if you want to spend a little more money.
If you wanted to do it on a budget too, you could just get a regular laptop with an HDMI out and have a keyboard and mouse that you just plug into the side of it, plug in one HDMI cable, and now it's a desktop for all intents and purposes. And then you just unplug those three things and you can go sit on the couch or anything else. If you're trying to keep on a budget, like James is saying, the detachable tablet is cool, but I'm guessing he's probably not going to want to spend that type of money.
Right.
It is cool if you want to. If you don't want to, you could also do it this way, cheaper, with just a laptop, or buy the desktop. But email us back if you want more help with any one of those things, and we'll help you with it. But yeah, they wrote into casualshenanigans@gmail.com, just like you can. It's now time for 90 Seconds with Joel, a part of the podcast,
folks,
where Joel talks about whatever he wants for as long as he
I
wants.
haven't had anything to talk about for a long time, actually, for my 90 seconds. But today I do. All right, this is a public announcement. So if you know anybody, loved ones, friends, family, that are vaping, just tell them to stop it. Tell them they're not in Star Wars. They're not in a cantina. Like, maybe unless you're cosplaying, it works. Oh, but hearing the word, you got to vape, I want to physically slap people. Just like, I'd rather convince them to just straight smoke. Like, you're smoking off a metal tube. Like, oh man, that oily flavor. I'm like, it's that good that you want to carry around a tube with a battery. It's like, and then they talk about the mods of it. Like, it's it's literally like the nerdy PC gaming of smoking.
It is actually. It's completely like that.
And the amount of places that are like, please don't bring your vapes. Like when we took a trip just recently on a flight, they were like, no vapes here, but like the vapes. I'm like, oh gosh, that word just makes me just want to throttle people.
See, originally it was supposed to be a way for people to be able to quit smoking, but while still getting the nicotine hit they needed to come down off smoking. But now it's just people buying fruity flavored vegetable glycerin.
It's a way for people to smoke when they're not smoking at that time.
If anyone is curious, it is not good for you. It's better than cigarettes. It is bad. And I'm saying this as someone, I enjoy a cigar on a very rare occasion. Like, I'm not saying I'm above.
Smoke a cigar on an occasion. Be cool.
Exactly. Be a man. Sit on a leather chair with a dog and a rifle and smoke a cigar. Don't be a skinny
people were cool when they smoked back in the 40s.
Exactly.
Smoke in front of their children, like as it's being born, because doctors were badass back then. But now it's like, let me pull out my fancy aluminum gems rhinestone edition vape, and then when people tell you about it, it's like they're freaking selling you on CrossFit. And CrossFit is actually going to make you feel better. Like, you could do hardcore, you climb rope. You're going to be a badass. You're just going to be like the weirdo guy, like in the back, like, what is that pulling out of his pocket? He's got a gun. Nope, it's a vape. Like, what the F? Just please tell people, save your loved ones from this embarrassment.
The worst part is I was at a concert last year, and I I don't mind going to concerts with tons of people. Size jokes incoming.
So sorry, someone said, want to buy some death sticks?
Good job, Reese. Good job.
Oh, that was funny.
But I don't mind going to concerts because I am above most of the sweaty, oily air, the bad air. You short people know what I'm talking about. The nasty
I've
air
worked
at
many
concerts.
concerts.
I'm
Where you
above-
feel like you're in a perpetual mosh pit. Yes.
Yeah,
It's like
I'm
a
above
cloud.
that air. We were at this concert venue, and they have ventilation fans like blowing down into the audience to keep the air moving. And these guys had cookies and cream vape. Why? And they were blowing it into the circulation fan. And after like the third time they did it, I just turned around and looked at them, and I don't remember what I said, but it was just something along the lines of, "Really, guys? Like, really?" And there was like half a dozen other people looking at them like, "We could kill you. We can hide your bodies in the crowd."
You know there's going to be like Mountain Dew vapes and stuff that you can get codes
I
for
think
Call
the
of Duty.
same. I think most people would agree. So this isn't like a risky opinion, but I think the same rules that apply to smoking should apply to vaping. Don't do it around kids in closed areas. Don't do it in restaurants. Don't do it in swimming pools. And I don't know if there's an age limit on buying it. There probably is because it has nicotine in it.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Like,
For the record, you are free to do what you want. This is I'm
no,
not.
what we
I'm
say in our
not judging.
podcast, you have to. This is law.
Well, I don't want to make it sound like I think no one should vape. I think vaping's stupid, but people are welcome to vape. Just remember, treat it like smoking. It's just as annoying or worse to everyone around it. Because smoking, people aren't like, "Look at these menthols I got. Let me talk to you about it. Look at this holder I carried them in." Like, no.
Well, at least not for the last
They're
50
mostly
years
just
or so.
shaking and rubbing their arm going, "Hey, you want to step outside for a few minutes?" So, but vaping is still cool.
Is that what happens at your job, Jeremiah?
Just know the next time.
The way you described that bad air at the concert, I just imagine like this sea of people, like this like smoky layer of cookies and cream smoke, and you just like break the surface like a dolphin, like there's the fresh air.
The band stops playing, everybody stops and
No,
looks.
he goes like this. He goes. He just claps once, like the Hulk, and it just goes. Yeah, just know the next time you're caught vaping, just think of me sitting across from there drinking some of my Seagrams, just sneering at you, go like, "You fool!"
If someone can drink the drinks Joel drinks and judge you, you're doing something stupid.
Oh man, I took a picture. I took a picture of one of your cans. This was the most girly. I don't know if I think I have it stored on the phones.
Grapefruit water? Is it that one?
No. It had flowers on the can. What drink was that,
It was the
Joel?
pink one. It was the kinky cocktails. That's the one. It was
Joel, that was the girliest
Just trying to
drink.
choke the bile down right now. Kinky cocktail.
But at least I don't have mods and attachments for my Seagrams.
Gosh, you can put a dress on it.
You could be putting your
kidding.
Seagrams in a flask. I mean, I guess it could be a bit worse.
I don't know. When people do that and then they like smoke like right in front of you, it's not even like, hey, I'll be kind. I won't smoke puff right into your face. I really want to start my own addiction of just yelling really loudly at people closely. Like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm addicted to yelling really loud into your ears."
Joel, that's called
Like, would be
Tourette's.
like that.
You shouldn't make fun of that.
Well, I wish there was a way I could actually like get that virus then.
Virus. Move on. We're moving on.
Can you guys see this?
Oh no, that's not a
Okay,
drink.
that's fruit. That's fruit.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's
not
it's
so
a
bad.
mango. It's a
Come
mango.
on, that is a.
It looks like a generic. It looks like a generic flavored water from a grocery store.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh, it is. Okay. All right.
It,
Yeah, that's
it,
what it
it
looks like.
absolutely
It
is.
looks like something I'm gonna pour into a little potpourri pot and like
It
make the house
does,
smell
yeah,
nice.
yeah. I'm gonna get some of that to pour over my smoky used controller that Joel gave me, which smells. I wish those people vaped because it smells like 10 years of cigarettes.
Did you give him the one that's broken?
No, it's the one that actually came with the,
it's got
the
a
used
broken
copy
soul.
of PS4.
Okay. Oh, the second PS4 you bought was used.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
One last tiny little story about smoking. Our neighbors smoked a lot, like when we were little kids. But I mean, they had kids and they were awesome. We hung out with all the time. But we were generally not allowed to go over to the house because my mom thought we were going to die of like cancer as soon as we walked in the door. But anyways, they gave us a box of ice pops. And I was like, "Yay, ice pops!" And you take a lick of it, they tasted like smoke, and I'm like, "Ah!" Joan and I called them cancer pops. But we were homeschooled and we didn't really have a lot of sugar, so we would literally rinse them in hot water to clean off the smoke.
I was homeschooled and I was raised by a vegan, and I had better standards than that.
I know, right?
You washed the cancer off of the sugar sticks.
Yeah, we did.
Every time Joel tells us a story about his childhood, I'm just like, why? How? Oh,
Joel, maybe next time we should talk about your addiction, which is
Joel, if
apparently
I
still...
ever invent a time machine, I'm just going back to your childhood to hug you a bunch.
You have to get in line.
We also didn't have toothpaste. My aunt was into this, like,
What?
there's this fad of like this miracle soap thing she had. It was this bubbly soap you could use for. Did you ever hear about that, Dave?
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Okay, it was this bubbly soap thing, and so we had
it
to
like
use it for a
baking
couple
soda?
weeks. No, it's honestly it was essentially a whole bottle of water with one drop of soap, so it was almost barely soap. And we had to, like, you could brush your teeth with it, and it would cure you. I was, what the heck, F is this thing? And so, yeah, that was my.
What the Hefner?
What the Hefner is that stupid thing? Gosh, let's just end this podcast quick.
But isn't like half the point of toothpaste is like the grit in it to like help clean your teeth? Like, I don't think liquidy soap would do good at all. That doesn't sound like it would be effective.
Yeah. All right. It's now time for What Are You Playing This Week? Part of the show where we briefly talk about the games besides Fallout 4 that we've been playing this week. Dave, you go first.
James called it. The Witcher 3 and Fallout 4 really complement each other. Like, it's dangerous because it's like a huge amount of time to sink, but I've been going back and forth between the Hearts of Stone and Witcher expansion still and Fallout 4 on my crafting and really enjoying it.
It's not exhausting to
No.
usually going between RPGs is like, ugh.
They really do.
I want to go play something that's a little more lighthearted and stuff, but they're so different that it's easy to change that gear.
I enjoyed The Witcher 3 like more having taken a break from it to play a lot of Fallout because it, you know, I got big into the story again for a couple hours, and then after I took a break from that, going back to Fallout 4 and like diving into the crafting and the exploring, I'm like, man, I could play these two games for like 48 hours straight. It's super dangerous. But outside of those two, had a super awesome armor mission last night, like a survival where we did basically that Call of Duty 4 mission where you crawl through the Chernobyl grass. Dear leader Jeremiah led us to a crawling victory. We like crouched up out of the field and ambushed this Russian base like a movie scene. It was awesome.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty impressed with the team. I didn't think they were really going to take to the super stealthy, slow approach because usually our strategy is enemies. What we got? We got guns? Yeah, let's do that.
It actually sounded like the in-game voice. Enemies, 200 yards.
Oh, well, I mute those now, James, in every mission. Like in the config file, I mute all those robotic AI voices.
You got all the little clicks first, though. Enemy.
It helped too, Jeremiah, that I told him from the beginning that there are 6 respawns for the entire mission that could go on for an hour, so don't waste them.
All right, James?
That's pretty much it. Witcher and Fallout. I've been switching back and forth. There was another game, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
All right. Joel?
Geralt.
I said that in chat.
Did you?
I just said it in chat. Geralt.
A lot of Star Wars. Actually, I mean, I playing a lot of Fallout, but then
Battlefront together.
I got like 7 hours in Star Wars already, and it's a blast. So yeah, living my childhood dream.
If I can just interject for a second, Joel, you just reminded me. I hadn't mentioned Battlefront is the first console game I bought from Best Buy since Rogue Leader in 2002 for the GameCube, and it was a good choice. I'm having a lot of fun playing with Joel. I think it's the most fun I've had in a console like traditional FPS since Halo. Honestly, it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
Joy saw my eyes like light up when I got to play as Boba Fett. Like she's like, are you crying? I was like,
Joel,
this is my dream come true, and it was so badass.
We were playing. Was it Boba Fett? No, it was the Millennium Falcon. We were playing the fighter squadron mode where everyone's in fighter jets, and Joel and Joy are playing next to each other with 2 different TVs. I hear Joel shout over both of their voice comms, "I'm the Millennium Falcon!" Not "I got the Millennium Falcon." You're like, "I'm the Millennium Falcon!" And then you got Clive here, and Joy's like, "Joel, are your eyes tearing up?" You're like, "Yeah!" It was amazing. I'm just hearing Joel's like childlike glee has been the best part of Battlefront.
All right. I've been playing Battlefront, which I rented. I'm probably going to take it back after tomorrow night. We're playing more tomorrow night, I think.
Okay, I'll rent it tomorrow night then.
Yeah, and I've been enjoying it more than I thought I would. I definitely don't want to play it for more than a couple days just because it does feel just like Battlefield. But the Star Wars part of it has been really fun, and I've been having a fun time. Like the night I played with you guys on Tuesday, that was a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to doing it again tomorrow. I also just listed for sale on eBay Need for Speed. The more I play that game, the more disappointed I am. I watched a 40-minute video yesterday about what made Underground 2 such a great game, and I was remembering all the things I remembered 11 years ago about why, yes, it actually is an amazing game. Need for Speed has some of the least customization of any of the tuner scene games they've made, and the handling, I think, is the worst handling. Like, Ridge Racer has more predictable handling than this Need for Speed game. I'm not just trying to dog it, but like I play enough real car games. I understand how cars work. I understand how the handling is supposed to work. And 20 hours in, I can't make the cars be consistent. I'm hitting stuff constantly in every single race. The AI is ludicrously powerful. Like, it doesn't matter if you upgrade your car. They'll just drive faster. They'll just rubber band past you if you make any mistakes. And the customization is really lacking. And there's just tons of little issues. Like, it's not complete. And I might buy it again if it comes out on the PC and they fix a lot of stuff by then. But right now, I mean, I could talk for an hour on the ways the game disappointed me. Overall, I liked doing the visual modifications. I enjoyed a lot of aspects of the game. I don't regret buying it, but I'm glad I'm selling it. The average sale price on eBay is $5 less than what I got it from Best Buy with the Best Buy Gamers Club thing. So that's going to be paying for itself pretty soon here. But yeah, that and Battlefront and Fallout. I want to get back into The Witcher and keep playing Hearts of Stone. Now that the wedding season's finally over, that might happen once I finish my car.
And then weddings will just ready to start up again.
And you are moving in the dead of winter, so there's that.
Not the dead of winter. Just
Dead
January.
of winter.
So maybe I stacked the schedule a little bit, but whatever. Yeah. So,
Joel, I have a question for you.
Yes.
When are you going to buy Super Star Wars? It's out.
Yeah, well,
What's
I think
Super Star
I might.
Wars?
I'm trying to
The
decide if I want to
NES
buy that
game?
first or Bounty Hunter, because Bounty Hunter's also out as well. Apparently, the PS2 backwards compatibility like games came out today, like a silent, like it just came out. So there might be like a back catalog of like 2,900 games to like pop up out of nowhere on the PSN store soon. But Bounty Hunter's out, and that got a 9.0 back in the day, and I've always wanted to play. It was a PS2 game. I never had a PlayStation, so I might be playing that one first, I think.
Cool.
All right. With that, guys, that's the show. Thank you, and as always, you can follow us at Casual Shenanigans on YouTube. You can follow Dave and I at Germ Gaming, at Evil Viking on Twitter, Evil Viking 13, and Germ Gaming on YouTube. We have our website, casualshenanigans.com. We have Facebook. We have all that stuff. You guys can all find it. It's in the description.
Follow us on Tinder.
And if you're Team Bondar, unsubscribe.
Swipe right
please.
for Casual Shenanigans. I don't know how that app works. James is the only one of us who should be using Tinder. Should be.
I'm too old to be using Tinder.
You're the right age to be
Am I?
making
I
an
don't-
account on Tinder and then just laughing at it. I was actually on a trip with a friend of mine recently, and he has a Tinder, and I swiped for him for like 20 minutes, and it was hilarious. Like, anyway, that's a conversation for a different time. But that app is hilarious. But thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you for watching. And till next time, when we promise it won't be quite as long as it was tonight, stay casual.